You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Fists cocked, waiting.
The Wasteland is a host of apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 553rd edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, I've got Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
And also Ray. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, hello.
And also tonight, we have special guest Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Tonight on the show, we will chat with Dawn about her recent event attendance. Also, we've got our gameplay right off the top, as per usual. Maybe some game time, but the real draw tonight is our feedback. We're off in the wasteland of the Mojave, where we will hear feedback from Vanessa and John, a.k.a. the Shoveler. Also, Matt, Rando, and Sullior. Hopefully, Calm brought Nikki along as per usual. We'll check in.
Well, after last time, it was Nikki bringing Tom along.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, come on. And some iguana bits, so everybody get your can openers, and we'll dig through some tasty bits. But let's go ahead and check in with Jess and say, hey, Jess, let's see how you want to approach all this recent events with Dawn, and what's going on with that.
Sure thing. Well, I thought we'd do a mix of gameplay and what we've been doing since Dawn has been on for a while. She can catch us up on her character, New Vegas thoughts, and also the Wasteland Jamboree. I'll just get through my gameplay real quick to set the tone. Did I play much Fallout this week? Only a little. Did I play some other games? Yes, I actually had a good gameplay week this week. So you might remember my obsession with Vampire Survivors like 2 years ago.
What was that one called? It was a really popular one for.
There was Bellatra. You might be thinking of Bellatra. That was bad for a month. Vampire Survivors for a month. Basically, all these roguelikes get me. The most recent one's Box Pits. Well, Vampire Survivors came out with a new game. They're the sequel-ish called Vampire Crawlers. And it uses the pixel art aesthetic and a lot of the idea of the past game about you're a bunch of family of vampire hunters taking out vampires. But instead of being a bullet hell, like the original, an automatic bullet hell, where you're constantly shooting and increasing your powers and going crazy, it's a dungeon crawler, like a classic 80s style Bard's Tale-esque. You kind of do one square at a time, and you fight the beasties when they come in your face, and you hit them with your holy book and your wand.
Those are the best games because they're so polite. You take turns.
The monsters wait, and they're like, oh, you got an Uno skip reverse? Okay, fine, go again.
No.
Be my guest.
Ooh, double whammo, double reverse.
So, Vampire Crawlers, I've put in a couple hours in that. That was really fun, so I wanted to mention that. But also, another game came out this week that I have been anticipating since it first showed at the Xbox Showcase in, I think, 2022. It was, a good 3-4 years ago. And it's called Mixtape. So, Mixtape, I know, you know what? It was maybe only 2 or 3 years ago. Because Mixtape is by the same people who did The Artful Escape. Do you remember that game? Maybe. It's a music game where you become a cosmic guitarist. And it's just awesome. I was super into it around the same time I was playing Dungeon, Boyfriend Dungeon.
That does not sound familiar.
It's got a very Bowie-esque kind of vibe to it. He is a guitarist going through space landscapes, playing huge rock concerts for aliens. It's a bit of a platformer. It's wild. It was really fun, colorful. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. This was a good 3-4 years ago, so why would you remember? It's not our kind of game generally, but it is mine. Well, their next game, this is a company called Beethoven and Dinosaur who made it. Their next game was called Mixtape. And they showed it at an Xbox showcase. And it was basically just about friends putting a mixtape together for a perfect night, perfect mixtape riding in a car. And it just had those vibes that, beginning of summer, hang out kind of vibes. And I was like, this game looks really fun, but kind of in a Life is Strange, True Colors kind of way, or, a Telltale Adventure kind of way. Like I wasn't sure what it'd be. Well, it came out. And Andrew, I feel like you would really vibe with this. I feel like Will would really vibe with this. Anyone, it really speaks. It's set around the mid-90s. So any of us high school mid-90s folk, it is very much like that kind of hangout movie, but as a game.
Get your Jankos and Doc Martens, bro.
Exactly. Friends talking music, mixtapes, skateboarding, and, just kind of preparing for the summer.
Sack
One's
on
about
the corner.
to leave. Right? They're going to graduate. Just a classic thing like Dazed and Confused or any of those kind of 80s, 90s teen movies. So
beautiful.
But it's really kind of creative and fun. Also, it's got a soundtrack. So the idea is mixtape. Basically, as she's putting together the perfect mixtape, every scene takes place to the song. So it starts out with Devo, which, I know Ray and you like and such. And then it moves into, was it? It was Like Honey. I think then we had Freak by Silverchair, that was like 96 or 97. So a little more modern, but it's a mix of songs from the 70s, 80s, and 90s in that alt vibe. And it's got Cure in there too. Anyway, I'm only like 2 hours in. I think it's a 4 to 6 hour game. But I recommend it to anybody with Game Pass.
Sweet.
So, that's my gameplay. Besides, anyone following the Hidden Cat saga? I may have dipped my toe back into Hidden Cats. I will tell you, Hidden Cats in Spooky Town, good game, great aesthetic, love the witches and all the spookiness, but I think they're making them harder. One thing I like about Hidden Cats, I can finish the whole game in like 2 hours. This one took me like 3.5 to 4 to finish all the bonus levels. So, you can really get your cat on.
It's because they're all black and it's the black background and the black sky and the black witches. You can't see them.
That's part of it. No, you're actually right. And all the twisty trees and the wrought iron fences and the black. You're 100% right. That is what they did. But also, there's more bonus levels on this one too. They're like, oh, you like your bonus levels? Here, there's like 15 of them. Enjoy. I'm like, I like 8. 8 was a good number.
We have 3 black cats in our house. I spend numerous hours speaking to curled up sweatshirts on the chair,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They got to be
like,
careful.
Oh, good
they blend.
kitty. Oh, that's a towel.
The opposite happens though too. Like they can hide in a pile of laundry and you don't even see them at first when you go to flop onto it.
Oh, you killed the cat.
No. But that was my gameplay. So I had a fun gameplay week this week with a lot of stuff from Game Pass and such as I prepare to get back into New Vegas, and we're going to continue the story, as we all recover from Lonesome Road.
I need a Band-Aid.
That was my gameplay. So do we want to jump to our guest and ask Dawn what she's been up to lately?
Beautiful. Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, well, gameplay. Been a minute.
You've been too busy.
Have you had time?
No. Been out of town basically. Between work and out of town. I've been out like the past 2 weeks. But before that, the reason you haven't heard from me too much lately is because I'm stuck in the middle of the big MT.
It's a wild place.
I've been having some trouble with my controller. I don't know if it's my controller or if it's another bug in the game. I'm hoping it's the controller and I've got to get it fixed. I just haven't had a chance. I can't draw a weapon in the game. So
no.
It wasn't a problem in New Vegas because I had Boone and I had Edie helping me, I would just stand there and they would take care of everything. In the big MT, it's just me. And I got through most of it. Like, I'm at the point where I'm ready to and I should just do this, but I don't want to miss out on other things. I'm in the sink and I can just turn around and go talk to the robot or whatever and get my brain back and move on. Unless I have to fight somebody, and then I might be in trouble because I don't know.
You most likely have to fight somebody still, especially if you haven't done everything
might be in
available.
trouble. But I was in the middle of, I was doing fine until I was in the middle of collecting all the upgrades for the sink appliances. And I was like, I'm going to finish this. And then I'm going to go like do some other things because I just didn't want to like leave without doing these things. And I leave the sink after I drop stuff off and I get out there and I can't draw a weapon. And I've got this stupid metal rad scorpion in my face. So that's a good time. So this is where I am.
Wow. When did that not start until you were teleported to the Big Empty? Is that when you lost the ability to draw your weapon?
I actually made it through most of the Big MT without a problem. It's just
even though
I
you
wanted
couldn't
to go
draw
back
your
and finish
weapon.
some things, and it happened again. Yeah, I was able to for a while. Now I can't. It's like the X is like, because I use an Xbox controller. It's
As
like
you
X doesn't
should.
respond. So, yep. So that's where
Wow.
I am right now. That's why you haven't heard from me in a while.
No, it's rough. It's rough. But I mean, you've had a couple bugs this playthrough because we know you had to go back and
Yes.
redo a lot of stuff around the platinum chip too when you first
Yes.
went to Caesar and all that. You
Yeah.
had to reload and replay a good bit of it.
But the cool thing is, last weekend I cosplayed Benny on one day that I was out there, and I got to take pictures with Boone. It was great.
Okay, so just real quick before we do that, have you been playing any other games besides New Vegas the last month or two, really, or has it just been a lot of prep and getting ready for the Wasteland Jamboree?
I think, well, I was able to play the first week of the Rip Daring mini season.
Okay,
Did not
awesome.
make the second week, but I did claim all the rewards because I had score.
Mhm.
Score, whatever you call it, tickets. I don't know.
What
are we
don't
calling
know
it
there
these
anymore.
days?
It's no longer a scoreboard.
Yeah, I
we
know.
Still
Which
go on scorecation or
which stinks.
scoretirement for these guys, but
because they did have the old scoreboard that Shreds did at the venue, and we could all find ourselves, and it was great.
Well, so you did Rip Daring, and the new system it is nice with the mini seasons that if you don't
Yeah.
do all the challenges, you can use your other tickets.
Yeah,
your
because you
hard-won
honestly
tickets.
don't, if you're like, I didn't have to do the challenges if I didn't want to. Now, it was fun that first week because I don't normally use different types of weapons. I think this is probably the first time I've ever really gotten down and used a bow and arrow. And I was like, people aren't wrong. This is pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
if you're willing to take your
you know,
time and that's bow
Yeah.
and arrow, get those
Like
crits.
I might maybe someday spec that build. I don't know, but yeah,
It hits
was-
hard long distance. A
For
Vax
sure.
crit bow and arrow build is awesome.
Mhm.
It's not like at its peak of its power 2 years ago when there was no drop off at
Yeah.
even like 150 yards or whatever.
Right.
That was ridiculous, but it still is, more powerful than most. So
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I had some fun with it. So I was able to do that. That was probably the last time I was in 76 until today. I got in and I did my weeklies, finished all of my weeklies for right now. So I'm up to a whopping, I think, 70 on the scoreboard now. Woohoo, look at me go. I don't even know when this ends. So
none of us do. It's not official yet.
Right.
It's season 25 because we're in 24 now. 25 is going to start in June. But is it
Okay,
going to
good. I've
be,
got time.
June 4th, or is it going to be like June 11th or June 18th? I'm thinking because they're going to do Meat Week end of June. Okay, so I think Meat Week will be in the new season. They're doing double score the weekend of June 18th. So they usually do double score either right before season ends or right after. So I'm going to say
I found some
mid-June.
spooky scorched out there today.
They're messing around. Yeah, we have Spooky Scorched right now. We do. We have
Yeah.
Scorched. Yeah.
I did not know that until I heard like the little music and I was like, wait a minute. I was also finding scorched in places that don't belong. And because I was looking for the mole miners down in Welch and there were scorched in the buildings instead of mole miners. Is that new? I don't know.
Yeah. They have moved a few things around, and it's not the only time that is going to be happening regularly for new stuff is with the upcoming infestations.
But that's
which
still in
aren't
play
live
testing, right?
yet. Right. It's still in testing.
Yeah, that's what I
So
thought.
we shouldn't have anything switched out aside from just, the spooky scorch that are going to run in. Like they
Yeah.
have multiple spawns. But yeah.
I'm trying to catch the new axolotl and I haven't done that yet. I did pull up that camp and realized I haven't been in that camp since Christmas because I've got, presents in my doghouse, in my collector. So that was kind of exciting.
You know what? You mentioned the axolotl. So I think we need to give, if you have it available, Andrew, I'm thinking we need to give a scorecation shout out from Mo to everybody in the community who's gotten all 12 axolotls and got the kick-ass
we do.
axolotl title.
Scorecation!
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations. We have people.
Scorecation!
I know.
Scorecation!
I just threw out a few extras out there.
Yeah, we need to hit everybody up. Because we got a couple in the group who have all 12. So that's dedication. Also means they were on it. Because I didn't get the first month axolotl. I didn't get my first axolotl till I think July. I didn't get the June one.
I got one, but it was given to me, so it doesn't count for the title.
And there was much rejoicing.
It's not a scorecation, but they're still rejoicing.
They are. Because, a full board of axolotl, colorful, adorable axolotl is cool. And now, full aquariums. Although I don't know how many you can have in the aquarium because I haven't actually built the new axolotl aquarium yet.
I think it's 2 per aquarium. And then people are coming up with really cool ways to merge them and make that look like they're together so that there's more in there. People can do some cool things. So.
That's awesome.
It looks pretty
So that's 76 and New Vegas. But you mentioned your Benny cosplay. You mentioned this event. So for those who don't know, I just want to set this up because we've talked about the event a little bit without actually saying it. But you were at and helped organize the Wasteland Jamboree last weekend.
Yeah,
which
I can't believe it was a week ago. We had so much fun.
Yeah,
it was too short.
Right?
Too fast.
It's funny because it feels like it's still happening because I'm seeing all the pictures online. But of course, we knew a lot of people going, and you went and there was a lot of prep for it ahead. And even now there's still pictures. That's why I say I feel like it's still happening because people are still sharing pictures from day 1 and 2 and still talking about it. And yeah, it looks like a great time. So I thought we could talk through some of what you did there and what you saw. Cosplays. What cosplays did you do?
Oh, well, I personally did Benny on the first day. And then I did one of my original characters from Fallout 76, Mags. She wears the poodle skirt and the white top with the black and white bow tie. So I wore that. The second day I was Bounty, both days for the bounty hunters. And that was a lot of fun, having people come up to you. And of course, we all had our own shtick, that we did. Some were funnier than others, but, Mine was when I was Benny on Saturday, when they came up and they said, "I'm taking your bounty." I'd be like, "What in the goddamn?" Because I had to be in character.
Perfect. No, that's perfect.
So, but with Mags, I was like, well, what is she going to say? Because she doesn't, she's not bad. She's just, she trades with people that come by the house. I mean, she's got her little, I've got this store of hers that's just full of stuff. It looks like a giant pawn shop or something. It's like so much junk in it, like a big old antique store type thing. So every time somebody came up to me, I would be like, well, what did I do? Why are you after me? I didn't do anything. And people actually believed me. They thought I had the wrong person. And I was like, no.
Oh, that's
fine.
awesome. That's awesome.
Legit. I guess I guess
Totally
I can pull off the innocent act, but we straight up had people who would run away from people who wanted bounties, who would, demand paperwork, all kinds of crazy stuff. Some people got real creative. It was so fun.
So this bounty was a fun event that they were doing throughout the weekend where a few people had little wanted posters put up.
Yep.
You had one of them. I believe Shane had a bounty on him. A few people who don't know.
Yes.
Shane Blank.
A lot of people did.
Yep.
My buddy Nick, who was Benny all weekend, he ran the games on the
Who else? So were there other Bennies there? Nick Nick was on staff too, right? And
yes.
he did it.
Yes. Nick Shelton he's usually Benny. And he was Benny the whole weekend he was Benny. It was funny. He was Benny during the day and he was 3 Dog at night. So
and at the 3 Dog comes out, it's got to be a 3 Dog night. Let's go.
He was killing it, but he commits too. But he was doing games on the patio like all weekend long. So he was a bounty. the Enclave agent who's doing the Power Armor Festival next year. She was a bounty. She was a little more elusive. It was me. Shane was easy. Shane was crazy. He cheated so that everybody had to lose. And so, of course, he was the puppet, right? He did his rock, paper, scissors with this puppet. And anytime that they were like rock, he'd be like, I'm paper. So he would always win. And then he would make them take a puppet and they would have to give a performance of whatever type to like whatever random stranger or the crowd or whatever. It was really hysterical. He would make them do these things to win their bounty, but he cheated to make them do that.
Yeah, Shane is very recognizable for those who he's an artist in the community. Does a lot of art you might have seen. He's done a Fallout ABCs that was really popular for a while. Good. But he is a chem dealer. His character is a chem dealer, and
I don't know if he's actually a chem dealer.
Wild,
and his bandolier of jet. He tells people that that's just his morning dose. So I don't think he deals.
I remember back in the day when he was cooking and selling in game a lot. But, the character has evolved over time for sure. But he also got the classic, one man in a vault full of puppets thing where he always talks.
Well, when we were in Good Springs last year, a girl brought him a box of puppets that she had found in like Goodwill or something. And it was perfect because one of them was a king. And that you could not turn him off after that.
Box of puppets. Andrew, do you remember one of our favorite things in Fallout 76 was when we found that box of hats up by the stage?
Yeah, the stage up at behind Hemlock.
It's such a cool location. There's a box of hats there because this is before we had all the Atomic Shop costumes.
Was it a robots were putting on plays or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That was such a fun little find. A great place to get a number of hats.
And the only thing they had were hats. Because they were Mr. Handies or whatever.
That is so cool. But I mean, that's how you make do in the Wasteland and for cosplay. A lot of these cosplays people do are fully homemade and just what you have on hand. Obviously, a lot of creativity, a lot of work, and there were some awesome ones. Did you have any favorite cosplays you saw over the weekend, or any that you?
There were so really many good ones, but I have to say the person that nailed it on the head is, if you look through pictures, you go online, you're going to see the chicken lover. And
oh my gosh, that was Chris G.
Chris G. Yeah,
Chris G jumped in.
Nailed it.
I actually shared a picture.
She nailed it so hard that John Daly asked her for video. Okay. John Daly. And she was like, ah. So, yeah. I mean, and she was the one that was like running away from people.
Yep.
And straight up.
She had the slouch, she had the stubble, like
everything.
Totally.
Like the makeup was dead on.
Chicken curious.
The
salesman.
mannerisms were dead on. Everything in the kit was dead on. It was
that broken parasol. Like, yeah.
Chef's kiss. Every pose struck. Everything was just on point.
I have to say, like, while there are some that I've seen a lot of pictures of that really stood out, like obviously the gentleman who won the professional contest with the quantum power armor, that was wonderful. Rebel with a cosplay and her frozen Nora. A lot of people
these days
saw. Nice. Yeah, and Rebel with a cosplay, the frozen Nora. Like there are a bunch of these.
It was
really
really good too. She was
sweet. But there were just so many people, like so many of the attendees. I actually thought, like a lot of conventions, it'd be 50-50 at most. A lot of people just in there in their Fallout t-shirts. And maybe it was, but I've seen so many vault suits and raider outfits and, Kate and various Nuka girls and just, everything.
The Raiders were some of my favorites because, and I talked to a couple of them because they had like really creative costumes. And a lot of them said that they liked the Raiders because it was so easy to come up with just anything, like just go out in the shed and find a bunch of whatever and throw it on. And, they just had a lot of fun with, the junk or the license plates or the whatever. The one that I liked, he had the bunnies as armor, like little stuffed bunnies as armor. And in his backpack, it said, pet the bunny. And you would look inside and it was this stuffed rabbit, of course, had blood and all kinds of stuff on it. And it looked really demented. And it had like loose fingers in the backpack with the bunny. It was creepy. But he was such a joy to talk to because he was just like, he just got an idea, threw it together and had a good time with it. And it looked cool.
That's awesome. I love that creativity. People who they cosplay their characters, they come up with an original character specific for their cosplay. Maybe it's someone they had in game. Maybe it's somebody brand new that they've always, kind of wanted to be. This is their Wasteland persona. And it's neat to bring that kind of thing to the Fallout Fan Celebration or Wasteland Jamboree.
Yeah.
At this point.
Exactly. It was a total vibe. It was immaculate.
And I say all that. I also just people embodying, their favorite faction. Like that is such a thing too. There were groups of Atom Cats.
For sure.
There were groups of Tunnel Snakes. Obviously, the Enclave had a big presence. Shout out to
the NCR had the biggest presence.
They even marched.
The biggest. They all marched. NCR marched. BOS marched. The Enclave marched. Everybody had to have a parade. It was great. While the NCR was out marching around, the Legion took over their outpost. It was hysterical. It was hysterical because I was standing there watching this as Benny, and I'm like, well, that makes sense, right? The NCR is not at their outpost, so the Legion came over after they had their Little Caesars pizza. They came over and took over the outpost. So then the Legion or the NCR comes marching in. I'm like, y'all, while you're out here having your little parade, the Legion took over your outpost. And they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, you need to go take care of that.
It was, really tactics. NCR. I mean, obviously, General Oliver, not the brightest bulb as far as the plan there. You kind of got to leave a garrison behind.
Right. Somebody should have been, keeping the home fire safe, but no, they just left it wide open.
Did they try to tax you?
Oh no, flat out Benny told them he wasn't paying taxes and they said, okay.
There you go.
I said, I'm not paying taxes. Now, when I was MAGS, I spent a lot of time in the Enclave tent talking to Colonel Silva and some of those guys. And Silva was trying to encourage me to join the Enclave. And of course, if you know MAG's backstory, MAG's sister has joined the Enclave because she followed in her daddy's footsteps. And MAGS just doesn't understand, why. This isn't, we don't need to be doing all this. Who needs a government? we're all doing just fine. We came out of the vault. Right. We're just trying to make our own way. We don't need people to tell us what to do. We're just doing it. So I literally, that's the cool thing about the immersion zone that really got me. I don't usually role play on demand. I have to get into the headset, and be in the right mindset, be in with the right people, whatever. I don't know, but it just came out, because you're in the immersion zone. Everything looks good. Everything is set up. And I just slipped right into it. Didn't even have to try.
That's
and
beautiful. Because
so much fun with this conversation, and it was good.
LARP and that kind of character improv can feel difficult, but then when you find yourself in that situation, surrounded by other people doing it, like those who go all out, like at Wasteland Weekend and stuff, where you're embodying that kind of situation for a week. While the Wasteland Jamboree isn't that necessarily, it seems like it really brought that in with the Bracken Holler and the LARP section and the immersion.
She did. Grotch was in charge of that, and that was her baby. And I know she does a lot of Wasteland Weekend, so she has a lot of that experience. She just had so much fun pulling everything, and everybody everybody had their own set. Everybody had their own leader for their own factions, but the fact that they all worked together and they were all doing quests together and things like that was just so cool to see. And the fact that it was immersive. It wasn't just, we're going to go look at some Enclave stuff. I mean, you really felt like you were in an Enclave tent. You were in the Monster Institute. It was just, everything was so excellent. And it was so easy to just, slip into the role play, and everybody was having a good time.
So this is a feedback week. We got a lot to get to. So I know we could talk about the Jamboree all night, and Ray and Andrew may have some questions too, but let me just hit a couple big things. So what kind of events were there? We talked about the immersion zone. How about the gala? What was that, and how did that go?
Oh, gala was great. We used the gala as a charity fundraising event. People had to buy their tickets. You got dinner, and it was Fallout themed. We had Brahmin steak. We had the the names, the deviled eggs. We had the yum deviled eggs.
Yum.
We had the instant mashed potatoes. We had all kinds of stuff. And we had dinner. The Nuka-Cola Court made an appearance. All the girls came in. They got to parade around in their dresses with their sashes. and make an appearance. We had the power armor come out and play. It was just a lot of different things that came out and made an appearance.
Some groups did that, and they actually incorporated that into the gala
Yes.
to make it more special. And that was all done.
So
the gala
basically,
was
if you had
sponsored by
power
Fall for
armor,
Hope,
you
the
could come out
charity.
in it and do
Mhm.
your thing, because a lot of different, some of it was pros and cons.
Yep.
They were the ones who did the big heavy sets and everything. And they had big heavy power armor, which amazed me because I was watching one of them get down. He was dancing with the satin dolls. And I was like, how can he dance better than most humans in power armor?
He did good. I mean,
He did
even
real
Max,
good.
even Max would have been put to
He
shame
did real
with
good.
that
I
dancing.
posted
Yeah.
video
So
today. If you haven't seen it, it looked great. And I was talking to the satin dolls. They were so good. I was like,
they were the
love you
entertainers, by the
guys.
way. They're a trio who do some 40s
They do like a
style
lot of
performance.
USOs and
Yep.
things like that.
Mhm.
They're really, really amazing. And I was talking to them and I was like, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this. And the one girl goes, well, I'm a Fallout fan. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And
As
she
they
just,
should
they
be.
were having a good time. They were vibing and, dancing with Miss, the power armor. And they had a good time. And then we had the Brasset Hounds. We actually had an engagement in the middle of this. It was really fun.
Yes, a couple of my friends, Lazarus
yes.
and Cass. Yep.
Yep.
Enclave got
Congratulations.
engaged at the gala, y'all. And shout out
Yes.
to them. Beautiful. And Cass is the one who planned it.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She was like, do you think the band will be okay if we do this? I'm like, yeah. Because Steven is a softie at nothing else. He is a softie. He loves that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we were like, absolutely, this is going to happen. And I
That's
don't
awesome.
know how Nick didn't know, but he was surprised.
Just another quick explanation for people too. She mentioned the Nuka Court, and this was another just kind of fan put together thing where someone was, dressing up as Ms. Nuka-Cola. Actually, in the past, Nuka-Cola Chola, for those of you who know her, she does some great crafts and videos, and she
She's the
has,
bling queen.
done a Nuka-Cola queen. Right, with a lot of bling. She did a real Nuka-Cola style Pimp Boy 3000, all blinged out in Nuka-Cola colors. So people saw that oh, we should, I want to do that too. And so they did a sash, and more people started signing up for it. And eventually they're like, we should put together a whole court. And so they each, there was Nuka cherry, Nuka grape.
Lots of flavors.
Dora, who voices Valeria on the Modus File, she did Nuka-Cola My Blood's in it, and she went ridiculous and had scorched green veins on her dress and stuff like that. Just a good time.
From Atomic Outfitters, she did
Looks so good.
them. She did Captain's flavor because she did her crown
that's
had,
Cameron.
sea things on it, and she had a net around her dress. It was really
You hear that,
good. She
Andrew?
has-
Captain's Blend.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
she did
know.
Captain's Blend.
There's a hint of fishiness to it or something, right?
She did have a hint of fishiness. She looked
Her
great.
gown looks so good. She took some
She
ballroom
did.
pics too. I was telling her.
Yeah,
just
all the
wonderful.
pics that she did at the White Spring. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, the Greenbrier, but yeah.
It's the
She had a whole
White
photo
Springer
shoot
Heights.
at
We
the
know.
Greenbrier. It was incredible. Yeah, we
So
had
did
a
you-
lot of cool stuff that just kind of popped up and meshed in.
Andrew, did you have any questions on the Wasteland Jamboree? Anything you wanted to get into too?
Just with all the cosplay and stuff, do you see a balance of everyone wanting to dress as good guys, or is there a pretty equal representation of the Legion and Raiders and stuff like that too?
There was probably more what you say good guys than bad, but there were a lot of Legion there. There were a lot of Raiders. There was a lot of cons, especially considering we were on the East Coast. There was way more NCR than I was expecting because of the fact that we're East Coast. They outweighed anyone else.
Some of them traveled, but a lot of New
A lot
Vegas
of them
fans,
traveled.
right?
We had representation from all 50 states and 6 or 7 countries.
Now,
It's a lot.
if the Brotherhood costume were slightly less involved, do you think more people would do that instead of NCR?
We had some people who were dressed as Matt dressed as an
etc.
aspirant.
Oh,
he
an
dressed as a
aspirant. There
Brotherhood
you go.
aspirant.
That's fun.
Yeah, because that's the simplest thing ever. He wore a T-shirt and a pair of khakis and put dog tags around his neck or something. So he was an aspirant. There were people dressed in flight suits.
That's what I was gonna say, the red, the night flight suit and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't all. Definitely
It is
wasn't
pretty
all
involved
Yeah.
though. It
power
is.
armor or anything like that. That's always going to be like the top
Maxon's any
tier.
Maxon's coat? Well, that's a famous
Yeah.
article of clothing in our
Yeah, I saw
our
a
little
couple
community.
actually. I mean, Alex from Exposed Design, I think, has one, but I think between him and Chelsea, I didn't know who like made the most costume faction changes throughout the day. I think they were both like, one minute he's Brotherhood, then he's Legion, then
that's
he's
fun.
NCR. I was like, every time I turn around, he had a
It's like
different
a-
cosplay, but
It's like a Weird
he's
Al
Al-
show.
selling his armor, so
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
and Chelsea also did that. She's Brotherhood of Steel, but then I turn around and she's marching with the NCR. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Did you-
Chelsea is Sisterhood of Steel. She's trying to
Sisterhood
start
of
a
Steel.
group too going on. Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah, she was so funny. I saw her go by, and I'm like, traitor. I was like, what are you doing? But no, she's adorable too. But
Are
there
there
was just a lot of people just living their best life, having a good time. And there were so many people who were like, I didn't know there would be so much cosplay here. I'm definitely going to cosplay next time. And a lot of locals that came who had no idea what to expect, who were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I cannot wait to come back because now I know what it is, and now I know what to do. And, it's just like the first time you go anywhere and you're just like, I don't know what, what is it? And then you find out and then you're like, oh, heck yeah, we're doing that. And that's a lot of locals had that response. It was amazing because, we went into this and the people of West Virginia accepted us coming in, not knowing what this was about or what they were getting into. And everybody had a great time. Everybody I think it blew a lot of people's minds, especially the locals there in Braxton County. There's a lot of news articles going around if you see them.
any coyote heads?
Yes.
That's my favorite hat in New
Yeah.
Vegas. I love that.
Yeah, there were a
hat.
couple of those.
Those are great.
Actually, one guy lost his and someone
No.
kindly brought it back for him. Oh, no. It was,
Oh, that's
well,
good.
They
that's how
fetch.
nice the people were. Somebody made
Coyotes
sure he got
fetch.
it
Who
back.
knew?
I did see a number of, even in pictures, I saw a number of coyote-hatted Frumentari looking Legionnaires. There are more female Legion than you would think too. They all have their individual reasons for liking the faction. Initially I was kind of surprised by that, but I know a couple who are really dedicated to their Legion cosplay. So I'm like, hey, if that's what you want to do, your own interpretation, go for it.
I think because they're kind of fancy too, if you think about it. It's kind of a fancy cosplay. So
It really can be.
like you don't have to be like, I don't believe in the Legion, but they look good, they dress cool. Why not?
NCR
And they did have a lot of fun.
Ranger armor is the best though.
They made a video with their little Kaiser pizza, and little Kaiser pizza put them on their Facebook. So they had a lot of fun with that.
How about robots? Any robot
Oh
representation?
my gosh, yes. Well,
Any
Fisto was there. Of course.
Assaultrons or yeah.
I mean, Fisto, if we could have posted the podcast that we recorded while we were there live, we could not use it. But Fisto made an appearance, and there were a lot of reasons, but Fisto did make an appearance, and his was actually usable. It was not because of Fisto, but we had a mechanist who I was like, dude, your voice is so deep. It was his actual voice. I thought he had a voice changer, but there was an actual like altercation between him and Wes Johnson dressed as the Silver Shroud in the hallway, which was amazing. And I think Wes has that posted on his socials. What other
That's
ones?
great. That's great.
Gosh,
was the
who else do we have?
antagonizer there? There was no antagonizer,
No,
right? That would have
but
been
there
a real
was somebody
showdown.
dressed as a rad roach. Now at Good Springs, we had several people dressed as rad roaches, and they were all like dancing and doing things. I only saw one this time. That was kind of sad because I felt like he needed friends. I'm trying to think of what other robots we had.
The
You
lone
know what
wolf
they say?
roach.
If you see one, you have thousands.
That's true.
Right,
There's always
that's
more.
true. You just see it. But he was
Don't
cute.
open the elevator shaft. Do not open the
Not
elevator
open the
shaft.
elevator shaft.
Yeah, so it sounded like you had really good participation with the professional people that were there.
We did. We sure did. They were out there having a good time just like everybody else. Once they were done for the day, they would just go out and mingle. They mingled and talked to everybody and were taking pictures with people at the gala. They were hanging out at the bar after everything was done for the day, and people were just hanging out with them. Half of my camera roll is me and Jason Marston taking stupid pose pictures.
By the way, so I saw this guy, this cute guy with some of the Enclave Modus Files crew, and I'm like, oh, who's the cute guy? It turns out it was Jason Marsden. I'm like, geez, he's great. He looked like really friendly, just part of the crew,
He
palling
was
out with
incredible
everybody.
because we were sitting at the bar, and Ray and Lucy Middleton were there, talking about what they do with the 5-0. And he was asking so many questions, and Chip was there, and Chip plays with them too. And he's like, "Oh, Jason," because they're friends, He's like, "Jason, you would love this. You got an Xbox. You should get in. You should do this." And Lucy's like, "Absolutely, we can get you in there. We'll even make you anonymous. Nobody will know." And he's, he was actually interested in, and he was asking like how they do it and how they get started and how they bring them along through the process. And he had a lot of good questions, and it was great. He's just one of the many players just asking regular questions like everybody else. And we just had the best time.
And for those who don't know, he's the voice of Boone. He's also in Fallout Tactics, and he's in Fallout 2 as a character named Myron. But he's done lots of other stuff too. He was in Skyrim for quite a number of characters.
He's done several things.
Best known movies and shows are a Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie, the television show Step by Step, Weekenders, the movie Hocus Pocus. Was he the cat? Was he the voice of the cat? Not just a goof. Sounds like he was the voice of Goofy or something. He's in all the
one
Goofy
of the goof
movies.
troop, one of the family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good. Spirited Away. Ooh, I love that movie.
But it seems like you're saying, and Ray was suggesting, that a lot of the actors and professionals there really got in on things.
Ooh, Erie, Indiana. You like that
Getting
show,
to
right,
hang
Jess?
out with Nate Perkypile was very fun too. Very cool. Very enlightening, I guess. We got to hear. Over the years we've heard little things about Fallout.
Yes, he's been more and more open over time.
Yeah.
About his time at
So
Bethesda, and the parts he
getting to
really
hear
enjoyed,
new
and the parts he
stories.
didn't as much. And there's some great stories, and
He does have some great stories.
And Lear Leary was there, right?
Lear Leary was there.
Davey from the Fallout
He
TV show.
is amazing at the rap
Davey.
party.
No way.
They had the Fallout TV show just playing in the background.
He's the best
We had the rap
character in
party.
the show, right?
That's what he said.
It's great.
That's what he said.
He's great.
We had a funny moment where we were talking about watching. Okay, it was me. I was talking about I never thought I would see a naked butt on TV while I was sitting there with Jason Marston and Lear Leary. And Lear's wife turns and says, "As long as it's not his naked butt." And so Lear says, "Fun fact, that's his head imposed on my body." So, we're laughing, haha, that's hilarious because he's the king of dad jokes. And he says, "Well, but I am in my underwear." I said, "Yes, you're ironing." And he's like, "Whoa, how do you know all this?" And I'm like, I've only seen the show I don't know, half a dozen times because I
Look
told
where
him
you
for my
are.
podcast, we did a deep dive and whatever. So it was really fun to talk to him about that. And he offered to come on the show.
That's
Awesome.
wonderful.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah. He's just he's like hanging out with your dad or your friend's dad, he's so funny, and, he's always trying to tell a dad joke, and just those little impromptu, quick, well, I sat on the table and he was like, and I was like, "Thanks." I mean, just that kind of thing that you're just like, okay. But it was such a fun time, just hanging out, everybody having a good time, everybody feeling chill around each other, nobody feeling intimidated or awkward or whatever. It was
One thing you said that in many ways it wasn't a convention as much as a celebration, a hangout, a bunch of people talking about games and stuff they love.
Yep. And that was the vibe we were going for. It's the convention that's not a convention, because we didn't want it to be rules and strict, and we just wanted it to be organic. I mean, I don't know where else it could be where we are literally changing Gala is running like at the last minute, like every 5 seconds. We were just adding something else in there. Sure, let's do an engagement. Let's go, just throwing in things at the run of show at the last second.
I always thought it'd be funny if you showed up to a Fallout event dressed in Skyrim Dovahkiin armor, or vice versa. If there was a Skyrim type event, you show up in like a vault suit, and you're just like, oh, my bad, I was confused.
In the wrong place.
But
it wouldn't surprise me, and I think
same
people would probably
universe.
get a kick out of it. Yeah, I think people get a kick out of it anyway.
So the only other thing I want to mention, get a little business out of the way, since we're talking about excitement, people might be like, okay, that sounds great. I heard a little bit about it in the lead up. And of course, you guys, if you listen to our podcast or the Fallout Roundtable that Dawn does, you'll get this kind of information ahead. But next event for the Wasteland Jamboree has been announced as June 2028, right? So that's going to be 2 years, because next year the Power Armor Festival will be happening in April or May of 2027.
April 24th and 25th, I believe. It's like right around my mom's birthday. That's why I remember. My mom and my husband are right there.
So April of next year will be the Power Armor Festival. That'll be around Point Pleasant in West Virginia. And then the next Wasteland Jamboree will be 2028. So there will be an event each year. And of course, the Good Springs event is happening later this November. There's an event around Orlando, Florida that's going to be happening in July for those around the GCX convention. It's not a specific event, but, Fallout for Hope will be there. Some stuff will be there. So lots of other things to do and some stuff in the works from what I'm here. So that's awesome.
Always something to do.
Beautiful. All right. Hey, Ray, did you by chance have a chance to play any video games this week, sir?
Well, I kind of only played one video game this week.
Was it? Let's see.
No Man's Sky.
Starfield, right?
It was Starfield.
Woo! Well, you got it right first try, Andrew. Good job.
Yeah. So, I had started up a couple of different ideas. I started a character that was just an explorer and was going to do the constellation quests, but then Solior talked about wrapping up the Watchtower in his playthrough. And I had gotten stalled in Watchtower because I hadn't done the Constellation quests or the Unity. And so I decided to go ahead and start up a fresh character and kind of tie it all together, do the Watchtower, do the Constellation, and Terran Armada. And so I've got a character that I spun up, and I think I'm probably level 30 right now. And it it was kind of tricky because I really started, leaning towards combat to begin with, and kind of got stuck because every time I tried to go, circle around a new constellation, I got jumped by Watchtower ships.
Oh.
And my, flying around in the, little old frontier, I was getting chased out of every star system I visited. And so I couldn't find any ships to fight because the Watchtower ships were too strong for me.
Right, exactly. You've got to find the happy medium, but that takes a lot of jumping to get into those battles and make it all the way out to Serpentis and such.
Yeah, and so I decided, okay, well, the only way I'm going to be able to level up piloting is to go to the simulator, because I just couldn't get to enough ships to fight to be able to do it outside of the simulator. So went and did that. I'm finally, getting to the point now where I don't have any problems. One of the nice things about going through the beginning of the UC quest line is to get the Vanguard Obliterator, which is essentially an in-game weapon that you can get at the very beginning of the game. So, the one thing I was able to do was get a lot of credits. And so I was able to afford them because they're very expensive weapons. And so now I'm holding my own. I finally managed to, to get to where I could really start working on the watchtower arrays. And, so I spend a lot of levels, getting ready to be able to, to then start progressing.
Because Watchtower and Terra Namata and such they're all mid to higher level content, right? I mean, Watchtower can grow with you as part of the game, I think. But how is it? So this is, your first time doing it since the updates. How is it working with the changes to the game? Is everything fine? Is it implemented differently than it was before?
No, it's pretty much the same. I haven't, I still haven't fully embraced the cruise mode. One of the things that, using cruise mode to try to level up ship combat is tedious.
Right.
Because it's faster if you just jump to a planet and, there's a battle or there's not a battle. Or once you get leveled up, then you can go to Serpentis. Although I did notice, so they've done a few things that have kind of tweaked the way I play the game. So, the first one was, of course, changing the POI frequency, which took away my weapon farming. And now I went around Serpentis twice and only had 13 ship kills. And
really flying all around?
Yeah. Before, every time you would jump to a planet, you'd get, 2 or 3. And so by the end of, a circle around Serpentis, you'd have, 20, 25 ships. But they've definitely nerfed how many times you actually get ship spawns flying around Serpentis now.
Which we know in Serpentis, that was such a thing. That was one of the places to get the more battles than you would other places, and mostly Varun. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it does make sense that if you're trying to enjoy cruise mode, you want other things to happen, other incursions or no, the incursions are what they're calling the Terran Armada things. What are they calling the cruise mode things? Interstitions, maybe? They've got another name like that for it. But they want different points of interest and things to happen that aren't just fighting, which I'm down with. But there's got to be an area where you can grind.
Exactly. So, I mean, it really does force you to go to the simulator and, farm your ship battles there. Which, kind of bums me out because, one, it's not as lucrative. But I did come across one of the new POIs, at least I think it's new. So it's a decommissioned UC missile silo.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen them all the time. It's just an innocuous little building. But I finally went to one, and there's a missile in the silo. And after you clear out the bad guys, you can find batteries that will energize this missile, and you can launch it.
That's so cool. You could launch like in 76. You can actually launch the missile.
the problem is,
Yeah, where does it go?
Exactly. Where does it go? There's no idea. And when you hit the launch button, these blast shutters close on the windows and all the doors lock. And so you can't get out of the launch room until after the missile has left the silo. And so you miss all of it because you're locked away.
No
That
picture
is-
mode.
Yeah, and if you were to do photo mode, it stops time anyway in Starfield. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
unless
and you
console
can't
command it.
you can't get it. Yeah, I could probably toggle collision.
Yeah, no clip collision, no clip, and toggle menus and just go up and see it.
Yeah, because if you went into photo mode, you wouldn't be able to leave the room. Photo mode won't pass through walls.
Right, not officially.
But that was fun. So I did it again later.
Some of the new points of interest are cool. You know, the deserted garrison and missile silo, and I mentioned the seeing the abandoned UC waste facility. I believe it was, has all kinds of like neat little moving parts and like, you know,
Oh yeah, you can turn the
conveyor belts
machines
and
on
such.
and off.
Yeah, it's cool.
And when you turn the machines off, all of a sudden all the junk starts piling up and falling on the floor because the conveyor belts continue, but the big piston that smashes them, is stopped in place. And so that was pretty funny.
It's like when you set up in Fallout 4 in a settlement, and you set up the
teddy
workshop.
bear machine.
Yeah, and it's just like make it a little pile of them at the end.
Pile of bears.
At least in 76, they'll go in the hopper. You know, you can be making an excess of sugar bombs, and they just end up in a hopper, but they go everywhere in Fallout 4.
Yeah. So I still haven't found a weapon grinding location anywhere close to the Mui Bridge facility. So that's still my go-to to pick up the good weapons. And there's also a good set of armor in there as well. So, but yeah. So I did have. It's not like I've been through the Constellation quest line a lot.
No, some reason you skip that.
Perhaps
you've given the Preston treatment
twice before. But never before had it been Barrett that died.
Oh.
And so Barrett died, and I felt really bad because I was good because he has the least useful crew benefits.
I mean, I guess it all depends how you spec. I actually like he's great on a ship, in my opinion, right? He helps your repair. I forget what the name of it is, but the engineering skill that helps your repair go better. He's good at that.
Yeah, but there's a new piece of equipment for that.
Oh,
you can get
right.
a schematic that does better than Barrett does.
If you got to exactly technology, your companions, you'll go technology. I get it.
Yeah. So, but then I had a little panic moment because I didn't realize that Sam Coe was actually my follower. I thought it was just a single quest thing. But then I accidentally took Sarah as a follower. I'm like, oh crap, I don't want that. And so
not a fan of Sarah, are we?
Well, I do have him as crew on my ship, so this is a character that is not going to do any pirating, and so I don't have to worry about them ratting me out.
Oh, do some of them get all judgy on you? Come on.
Yeah, and you don't get any Sarah dislike that. When she's not your follower, when she's just on your crew.
Bosco loved that.
So, so I did. I didn't. I took Bosco off of the flight crew because every single time I got out of my ship, which is a lot, he's standing there greeting you, saying dumb things.
Some people love that, but yeah, it can get a little. It can be a lot.
So
I also sent him away.
yeah. So, but I've tried to not fall into my usual tropes. So I haven't I didn't take introvert. I haven't taken any skills in isolation. So I've left the opportunity for there to be companions in this playthrough. So
Beautiful.
I just haven't taken. Just avoid them like the plague.
Not as much ship stealing or stealth killing as usual.
No, no.
Wow.
Although we'll have to see. I've been putting off starting Terran Armada because you certainly don't have to wait to level 50 to do that quest line. The reason why I haven't done it is because once you start it, you are stuck for about 75% of that quest line with Delta, the robot. And he is everything you absolutely hate about companions rolled into one, multiplied by 100.
See, I thought he would be the one that you liked, that because he's a little bit, less judgy. And well, at least I think he is morally gray. Or no, he still comments too much.
Well, yeah, that's not really what I'm worried about. I'm worried about when you're lined up on a shot.
Oh, getting in your way.
And all of a sudden he's standing in your way.
Yes.
So
extra wide or something? Why is he 100,000 times worse?
Well, because he thinks he's a better commando than you.
Yeah.
And so he jumps in front of your shots.
As a smart commando does, right?
Yeah, sure, right.
Jumps right in front of other people's line of fire, of course.
Right.
And so, so what that means is that I have to spend that much more ammo because I've got to take him out. Make him take a knee, and I can move forward through and take out the rest of the
Just pop him in the back of the head a few times. Go down.
And then, once you're through, that particular area, then he bounces back. The other problem is that you're fighting characters that look just like him, and that character spawns ahead of you and then runs towards you. So guarantee I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like South Park. He's coming right for you. What are you going to do?
So, but
you know what we need in Starfield? We need like the Automatron DLC where you get a robot workshop. You go back there. You're like, I'll show you Delta. You give him like a Mr. Handy Jet. Make him like float there with his little arms just floating around in the way like Edie. Like, haha, can't get in my way now. Shoot under him.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of weightless, combat in Terran Armada, and so it makes it even worse. It's hard enough to get lined up for a shot, in weightlessness, but then to have him float right in front of you, he's going to get me killed.
True. Or himself. It's not good. But
well,
so you're not
guaranteed he's going to get killed. So I'm waiting until I'm ready to just blast through Terran Armada.
Then you'll be
full speed ahead. And so then I'll get started on that. And I think so the thing about Watchtower is that I need to be able to go through the Unity in order to complete it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I've been focused on the Constellation quest line.
And as we discovered, you have to get to a certain point in the Constellation quest line to finish the majority of Watchtower anyway, right?
Yeah, I think you have to actually go all the way through the Unity.
Yeah. But I mean, a significant portion of it is locked behind going to Neon with Walter and unlocking the Starborn too, isn't it? I thought. I haven't played all the way through Watchtower, so I don't know, but I know some of it is main quest linked.
Yeah, I had gone through previously and taken out every single Watchtower array, and then I was like, okay, what's next, guys? And then it was crickets.
Yep, you had to progress.
We'll see what we'll see where that goes. So I think I'm about ready to go run through Terran Armada. So
I'm glad it pulled you in. That's cool. Level 30 in a week or so. I mean, for reference, I think it took me over a month to get to level 30. So that's a lot of play right in there all at once.
It's been a little touchy. So the weird thing is almost all of my crashes have been around moon buggy driving.
Mm-hmm.
So when I blast off and because the way I use the moon buggy is I elevate myself and then I fly over the trees and rocks and everything else, so that it doesn't slow me down. And the game gets a little bit touchy at that point. And I didn't have that problem before I loaded Watchtower. So I think it might just be, just a resource heavy mod. It takes up a lot of compute cycles. Yep. And but it's been totally manageable. It really is, having not played it in a while, it really reminds me that this is, I don't know if King Gath actually sat in on the meetings and said, no, you got to make Terran Armada do this, or if they just straight up copied Watchtower when they designed the quest line for Terran Armada.
There's definitely some overlap thematically. Yes.
It is.
With the style and the incursions and all that.
So similar. But yeah, definitely fun.
Well, that is awesome. I'm excited to hear more about it and how you go with this character.
Yeah, so I do need to figure out how to build the quantum entanglement machine or whatever. Because I really like the guns that I've put together so far. And so I think I'm up to 6 outposts, all so that I can make bullets.
Right. So I'm just excited. This Watchtower is a King Gath mod, and I'm excited because I think we're going to get the reveal of the new mod he's been working on, that the team's been working on, hopefully in June, either around the showcase or, around late June might be coming in. I hope so, because we need that expanded mod storage for console so that we can add more mods on console in Fallout 4 and hopefully play their new mod. I'm really looking forward to trying that too. Bringing the kind of love that they've given to Skyrim and Starfield, bringing that to Fallout 4. I mean, technically, obviously, they've done more for Fallout 4 than anything with Sim Settlements, but all the new stuff has been Skyrim and Starfield. So it'll be neat to see what they'll do now in Fallout 4.
Yeah. I noticed that I got a pop-up panel when I started up the game the last time that mentioned that there's a sale on the King Gath bundle right now.
Yeah, Bethesda's been doing that. Fever Dream is the name of the new mod that's going to be free, I believe. It's called Fever Dream, but we don't know much about it. But I'm thinking it's going to be coming out this summer. So I'm excited to see.
In chat, Solior mentions that he still hasn't got the moon buggy.
Uh,
I don't think there's any cooldown on that location in my game, because right after I got the moon buggy, the next place I landed was another building with the moon buggy, and the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that. It's like 5 or 6 in a row, where every place I landed, there was another, defunct radio tower.
Any kind of biome in particular the defunct radio tower shows up at?
I think it's like no atmosphere moons.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to me I've seen them everywhere. I mean, I get them all the
I
time.
feel like you're teasing Solior right now. I feel like you're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get him in a box of cereal. Like, it's ubiquitous. I can't get away from the moon jumper. How have you not found it yet?
Yeah, and it's it's so much better than the Rev 8.
Yeah, everybody should have it.
Yeah, but that's the way this game works. Is it reads your mind, because so like I needed a Kodama. My go-to close quarters weapons is a Kodama with a silencer and flechette rounds. And I could not get one to spawn after just countless reloads at the first Mui Bridge location I went to. Finally, I had to give up and just take the Orion that it gave me and move on, because it's like, I just can't, I can't keep reloading forever. But it just, no matter where I went, it would not give me a Kodama. And I mean, it took me so long to finally come across one. But so it knows that Sulior wants the moon jumper.
True.
And so he will never find that location anywhere. They took it out of the pool. I mean, it doesn't even. It's not even in his game. They deleted it from
possible.
his game.
You got to start on your character if you want to get it. Apparently, yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Stop wanting it.
Yeah. Start posting about how the Rev 8's the best vehicle in the game. And,
or download some mods for the Rev 8, and that way you're like, oh, I don't even care. I'm gonna fly my little egg, the SOS 8. Use that for a bit. You'll get the moon jumper then. Well, cool beans. Any other gameplay, or should we get to Andrew and some feedback?
That's all I did all week.
Is the weightless combat not exactly the same mechanics as the ship? Do you have a jetpack or anything?
Yeah, you still have your jetpack, but it's really hard to get stationary to line up a shot. So
yeah, so it's not the same as the ship.
Well, the thing about the ship is that you can only go so far. When you're inside of a space station, this huge cavernous room, you can drift so far out of the combat that just one shot, if you use a shotgun, you're gonna fly clear across the room.
I forgot it would propel you backward. Right.
Yeah
That's funny.
They got that right.
Yeah it's fun, but it's frustrating.
Are there any scenes in the game where you grab 2 fire extinguishers and get to blast yourself across the room?
No.
Oh,
there should
on.
be.
Yeah. And also, don't think I haven't noticed. I've been catching on slowly over the last couple weeks. I think that you and Jess have some weird back channel plan to mention the planet Serpentis how many weeks in a row without me noticing or something, because it's just been I've been okay, 5 or 6 weeks in a row now. They've always mentioned it's just that much of a staple in your gameplay. It must be.
yeah, for me, I don't think I have ever, ever since I figured out, how to grind Serpentis, at the very beginning of the game.
That was my favorite metal album in the 80s, dude.
Grinding
Serpentis.
Serpentis.
How to grind Serpentis, yes.
I always go there. Just like you always go to Gemini to start the game, I always go to Serpentis.
I just like the snake people, Andrew. That's why I go.
Yeah, it's like that old TV series V, the lizard people.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is a beautiful picture you posted there, Jess. What is that?
Oh, that's my little SOS-8. So the little Jetsons vehicle.
That's
what I
great.
use instead of a Rev 8. It's the SOS-8 suborbital shuttle. It's a mod by Bub200, and it's just the cutest. And it makes a little whir when you fly in it.
Me.
Mhm.
That's great. It's sold by Space Industries or whatever. Oh, that's very cool. Hey, let's see. My gameplay, a little bit of Fallout 4. I didn't play a ton of games. Some golf. I finally beat the beach. It's called the beach course. And the Mario.
Put
the Mario
Yoshi in his
golf.
place.
Oh, fuck Yoshi. Yeah, that was on the first round, and the second, he's like, I'm not sure if like certain characters like maintain a certain skill level. Like it's pretty interesting that Yoshi was like the best competitor in the first course and the second course. I'm like, yeah, I would think they would kind of randomize it or make Mario actually the good golfer. You know what I mean? But no. Interesting. No, Yoshi, that son of a bitch. I finally got him. But it seriously took, like, I played the course, I don't know, 20, 25 times at least. It was
I hear
pretty
Pebble
brutal.
Beach is hard.
Pebble Beach, I wouldn't be surprised if if they add fireballs and turtle shells to it, it could be that much harder.
I have to talk to the U.S. Open and see if they'll do that.
People add fireball traps.
IRL
somehow.
Mario Golf. Oh my gosh! If the PGA wants to get viewers, that's how you do it. Or get the golden jacket, you got to wear a raccoon suit.
Oh, give me a tail. Little ears. Oh, come on. Let's see. Mario Golf. Fallout 4 predominantly. Some Shelter a little bit. 4 was me loading an old character, not old, but from like a year ago or whatever. I mentioned it. It was my highest level character ever, 111 or something like that. But I had, I don't know, 30 levels banked that I hadn't used the perks for. So I was just kind of looking around and was like, I don't have any of the high level luck stuff, but I've got all of the the pistol build with all the VATs and the agility and all that stuff ready to go. So I just used all my like extra perks and got all of the top like 5 perks in the luck tree. Let's see, it's like better criticals, crit banker, Grim Reaper sprint, 4-leaf clover, and ricochet. As a ricochet, I don't think matters as. I mean, it's kind of cool to have it bounce back and kill the people, but it's those first 4 that I mentioned that all like really pack the crit power together. So I got all of those perks, and then I would just like start going out running around like let's play with this crit stuff. And then the first legendary person I came across gave me the same kind of pistol that I like using with this character, but gave me the lucky star. And I was like, well, lucky, whatever. That's probably nothing good. And I looked at it and it's like, okay, +2 luck. And I was like, oh, well, whatever. But then I noticed increases fills your crit meter 15% faster and doubles crit damage. So I already had, let's see, all the pistols with the explosive stuff, and I had all this. It's just stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked with this character for like an explosive pistol build. So I kind of changed the explosive part a little bit, but adding the luck with all the crit stuff that I just added on, and the double crit damage means that I can just remain in VATS at all times. It doesn't and it'll bounce to each, the neck. Because what is that other perk I took in
Gun Fu?
It bounces to the next person automatically. So you never leave VATS, and your agility meter is refilling because of either Grim Reaper Sprint or the other one, and then your VATS meter, whatever that's called, not the AP
meter,
but the other one, those vice versa, they're filling each other, right? So
and you've got crit
and
banker
I always
going
have a
on,
crit
so you save
banker,
some.
so as long as you're punching that crit button at all times, you're one-shotting just thing after thing, bam, 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 not even leaving VATS. It's hopping from target to target to target to target. It's fucking cool. I don't know how I've never done that before. It's amazing.
With the high AP build and Deliverer, I can do that some, but sounds like you've got the perfect drop and setup for it now.
Yeah, with the Lucky, it's just since the double crit damage, it kills everything on one shot, and that causes a string chain reaction of it just refilling all the fucking meters. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect with pistols because they have such low AP costs.
Yeah, I get 12, shots off in my AP meter, and so, it's... Yeah, it never leaves one round of VATS. I enter one round of VATS, and then everything in the room dies. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's a fun way to play.
Beautiful. And this character, you've been playing Fallout 4 for a couple of weeks again. Survival mode.
Yeah, 10 days or so. Yeah. The main reason was because not all that the VAT stuff, but that was the really fun part that I had. What I'm doing is playing with the new creations and stuff. I wanted to check out the new. There's some big enclave quest, so I'm running down to that. I just got finished with the part down in the glowing sea, so I'm not sure if it continues on from there.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Next time we do a full Fallout 4 roundtable playthrough, engaging with all the updates from Anniversary Edition and everything they brought in. That's gonna be fun seeing that. I know you and Ray have already played some of it. Ray's seen a little bit. Ray hasn't seen any. Ray's like, I'm not messing with that updated Fallout 4. What you talking about?
I don't need a bunch of Pip-Boy skins.
Which is true. The transdogrifier. I know a lot of it's not for you, but there's some neat stuff in there. And they have really been coming out with some cool creations now that we've got the new system in Fallout 4. A lot of people are releasing are pretty in depth, and they become a bounty hunter. And a lot of the New Vegas stuff they're bringing in, the official creations, bringing in New Vegas stuff. It just, I think Fallout 4 modding will have a bit of a renaissance again too. Not that it hasn't already, but I'm seeing some good things.
Right. Say what you will about all the new creations, but at least in my game, all of the death claws have really hot boobs.
The death claws and your crits are both stacked, is what you're saying.
Yes, stacked on stacked. Yeah, that's probably my gameplay. Mo and I played a little more of that Pokemon game. It's really fun. I love that there's no point to it. That there's no
Rubenstein death claws.
There's no goals.
Yeah, you're right. It's just fun. It's just fun.
It's just fun. I love that there's no leveling and stuff. It's great. Well, there kind of is. But it's just about items and building. It's not about battles or anything. It's great. Okay. Yeah, that's my gameplay. Let's get into some feedback. What do you think? Who are we rolling with here first, Jess?
We
make feedback. Who we got? Vanessa looks like. Let's where are you? There you are.
Sterling Price reads the Courier 6 sign that beckons him through a metal barricade, and inexplicably he follows it inside. Once in, he's on a hillside overlooking a charred landscape, and shortly finds himself in a missile silo, meeting a duplicate version of Eddie, who from time to time plays recordings detailing the real Eddie's intrepid cross-country journey. Pretend Eddie also periodically transmits messages from Ulysses, whose path Sterling keeps almost crossing, in Zion, in the Big Empty, and as the unnamed courier that ducked out of the Platinum Chip delivery. While Sterling hasn't given these non-encounters much thought, the reverse is not true, and Ulysses has engineered their meeting here in the Divide. The Securitrons in the missile silo lull him into a false sense of security about the enemies ahead, which turn out to be much tougher. Marked men of both the NCR and the Legion, and feral but humanoid tunnelers, which Ulysses informs him during one of his lengthy diatribes, are on the verge of taking over the Mojave, which makes Sterling wonder why he's going to such lengths to drive out the Legion and NCR if they're all doomed anyway. Both the tunnelers and the marked men have a habit of appearing seemingly from nowhere, but at least on this trip he's been able to bring his preferred weapons, hunting shotgun and marksman carbine rifle, and ammo is plentiful enough. Periodically, he has to destroy warheads which block his way through the area. As he makes his way out onto an old highway, deathclaws are added to the mix of adversaries, as if he doesn't have enough to worry about. One silver lining, he's been accumulating a good quantity of weapons and armour, and the commissary terminals that Eddie unlocks for him magically replenish their caps each time they're accessed. If he makes it out of here alive, he'll have more money than he knows what to do with. Still, making it out alive feels a long way off. He clears out what seems to be the remains of a small town by using his rifle to pick off any marked men he can see on the rooftops, before going through the destroyed buildings with his shotgun to clear out any stragglers that leap out at him. As he's about to enter another missile silo, he presses a button which he assumes will open the door, but which actually launches a missile.
Oops.
Oh, crap. At this time, Ulysses' speeches change in tone. He begins to accuse Sterling of being responsible for causing the devastation of the Divide in the first place. He believes Sterling was a courier from out west, instrumental in building up the Divide, only to unwittingly carry in something which led to its destruction. Bullet to the brain or not, Sterling knows full well he's a son of the Mojave. He's never set foot in New California. If he had, he wouldn't have spent the last several months questioning every NCR troop he meets about their history and motivations. There's nothing he can say to Ulysses to challenge his misconception, however, so he trudges on towards their inevitable meeting. Once through this latest missile silo, he's back out on a rooftop overlooking ruined buildings and radioactive water. Again, he picks off as many masked men as he can from a distance with his rifle before getting up close and personal with his shotgun. Now there are a couple of invisible masked men to be dealt with as well. A disturbance in the air signals their position, and he backpedals while shooting at it, and eventually they're defeated. Finally, he arrives at Ulysses' so-called temple, another missile silo. He's reunited with Pretend Eddie, who Ulysses had assumed control of a while back and called away. They take out a few Securitrons and then prepare for the final confrontation. Sterling is unsure how to deal with this. Should he try to reason with Ulysses or go on the offensive? As final preparation, he listens to the recordings Ulysses has left for him on the way through the area, know your enemy and all that. He's hit with a wall of words, from which he picks out only one salient detail, that Ulysses has murdered for the Legion on a large scale. Only one thing for it then, he won't try and reason with the Legion. The last few groups of masked men have obligingly dropped some anti-material rifles, and he's able to make one of them as good as new, from parts of all the damaged ones. With this in hand, he heads into the final room. Ulysses keeps his back to him and Sterling moves closer. He's not proud of shooting someone in the back, but he does it anyway. Ulysses certainly must know he's there. Perhaps he wants an end to it all. He and Eddie take care of the masked men that swarm into the room after Ulysses' death, and then Sterling finally realises there's a countdown going on for the launch of the remaining missiles. He's unable to stop it. Eddie, in his final recording, reveals that he can stop it, but most likely destroying himself in the process. Sterling hesitates. Is he really weighing the existence of a single Eyebot against half the Mojave? As charming as the expository beeping is, reluctantly he directs Eddie toward the terminal. The countdown ends, and he returns to the hills near Prim, finding a grave immediately outside the barricade he first entered through. Is this Ulysses? And how did he get here so quickly? And who buried him? That is all for me. Sterling in denial there about Ulysses, inventing a new background for him. Not really keen on that idea, so we'll just pretend it never happened, and Sterling is just a Mojave boy, born and bred. But that's all for me. Take care, everyone. See you in the Wasteland. Bye.
I didn't have a shuffle. Is Ulysses' body in those graves?
No, they're there before you do that DLC.
Yeah.
They just jump out at you.
Yeah, because they
way.
put you next to that chest, and the chest is on the hillside where they're at.
Yeah, there's a little lamp and everything there, right?
Yeah, but no, that's there.
It'd be great if it was
after
the
the ending slides
already,
and the rest of the story, and more exposition, lots more exposition. Fantastic. So we didn't hear what Sterling did with the missiles, where he directed them.
Disabled them.
He disabled them using Eddie.
Used Eddie to disable them.
First time.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's kind of what you have to do, unless you're willing to, deal with the consequences.
You give everyone a taste.
Like I mentioned, there is a bonus to doing that, which we'll hear people get into with the feedback, but
I hope
getting
someone else
into
does that too.
Getting into the new weapons and, some of the special stuff, which Ray, did you end up doing that, by the way? Did you end up going and getting the unique weapons?
No, because I don't use grenade launchers,
right.
And they're both grenade launchers. So,
Bummer.
And the perk you get at the end, it ends up being the same whether you shut down the nuke, send it to the NCR, send it to the Legion, or send it to both. It's essentially the same reward, slightly different, but essentially the same. So each one gives you one extra perk point.
One extra special point,
stuff. Yeah,
and some flavor stuff, and NCR infamy or Legion infamy.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So. Yeah, and since I didn't, I don't need the XP, I don't need the grief, and I don't need the gun. So I'm just gonna let that area cook. So since I'm already underwater with the Legion, I just went ahead and gave it to them.
Underwater,
really?
Up the river, and underwater.
I like the idea that because Sterling as a character has a backstory that they've created, and yes, the courier, is said to have a bit of amnesia, and so they did, the clever writing to bring all this in and give them a backstory. But us role-playing our characters in some cases, we're not role-playing them as having that strong of amnesia or forgetting everything in their past. Like, nothing in the game precludes you being able to have a past for your character.
No.
You may not remember all the events immediately prior to getting shot in the head, but it could just be a span of a few days or weeks that you lost. So I like the idea of considering kind of fan fiction and an obsession from Ulysses. That's a good way to explain it away.
Who says Ulysses isn't just making all that stuff up to make you feel bad?
Yeah, he's the kind of character that likes to obsess, a little bit.
Yeah, just because Ulysses says doesn't make it so.
Definitely does not. Also, he worked with the Legion. How trustworthy of a narrator is this man?
Yeah, none whatsoever.
I can't recall. Was there an outro that was a half hour long, telling all the ramifications of all your decisions made throughout the DLC in this one, like it was in Big MT or after the dam fight?
Oh yeah,
you got to get the slideshow. It may not be quite Big MT length, but there's always a slideshow.
The Big MT one was remarkably long.
Yeah, it was.
So Don, with the DLC, with us, like this playthrough, you've done Honest Hearts and you're stuck in Old World Blues for the Big MT. Have you finished Old World Blues in the past or Lonesome Road?
No.
Okay. So I hope you get out. I hope you get out so you can get, the rest of the story and stuff from that.
I'm going to work on my controller tomorrow, and hopefully that is the issue. I'm afraid that if it turns out to be a bug and I have to go back again, I'm just going to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm already so far behind, and then that'll put me farther behind. And I want to move forward. I don't want to go back and redo stuff again. Now,
it's a pretty tough bug to deal with, man.
Yeah, but
you have
I'll
no
probably
weapon.
Just play it differently again, but because I already did I went up and I did the boomers and half of the Brotherhood is done before I even went to Big MT. So part of that stuff's already done. So I was I just got to get back there, finish up Brotherhood, and boom, I can be on my way. Hit the cons and get caught up.
Can you win the dam battle by just recruiting the boomers and the Brotherhood to come help, and then you not actually participate? Can you play like that?
I'm afraid they're not that effective. You can do a lot with speech, like Matt Calm Horizons does, talk your way through everything, never punch anything, but
I can pass some good speech checks. I've been putting points into my speech. I think all of my skills are maxed already. So I've been throwing some points into speech. So I know this is very speech heavy game. So I've been putting points down there because everything else is already. The only thing I haven't done that I was assigned is I don't have Veronica yet.
No,
and
that's fair.
I'm at a conundrum because I'm supposed to get Veronica, but I'm also supposed to kill the Brotherhood because I'm house ending. So
that has definitely led to some interesting moments for some people playing who have had that.
It is possible to have Veronica and blow them up. I have her following me right now.
When I was doing the panel, we were talking about this, and I was actually asking the audience what they thought I should do. Tell me how to play this. And it was really interesting. It was a mix. So I'm hoping to get back into it and pick it up again. Like I said, I hope it's just something with my controller. I suspect it could be because I have some weird sticking issues with when I try and use VATS, it will automatically put me into a locked sniper. If I'm looking through the sight. Yeah, the scope. Yeah. I'm locked on that when I'm playing 76. Weirdly. So I think it could be the controller. I mean, you jam on the X button quite a bit. It's probably broken.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what happens because I do want you to be able to finish your playthrough. Whether or not you send in the feedback, it's all about getting through and, actually playing the DLC too because it's pretty great.
So I've been told.
So who is up next on the feedback, Andrew?
We've got John the Shoveler.
Hello, everyone. This is John, aka the Shoveler, with feedback for Butch Caldwell and his time on the Lonesome Road. So this DLC really taxed my PS3. It froze a few times at certain points during the game. I'm also very terrible at saving in games, so there was a lot of backtracking. I had not played this DLC since probably 2012, 2013. I can't remember when it came out, but it's been a while. So I couldn't remember exactly what was going to happen. Some of the stuff was oh yeah, I remember that. And then others well, I do not remember this happening at all. Poor Butch died so many times during this DLC. Especially that damn Deathclaw, that overpass. I hate that place. Again, there was a few freezes, and at one point Butch lost the ability to fire his weapon or open the put-by. VATS would work, but you still couldn't shoot in VATS.
That's going around.
I had to restart, or actually had to go back to a previous save. And did I mention I forget to save a lot? I think I found that laser detonator 3 times because of all the issues I had and not remembering to save. I guess I seem to like that game of John forgot to save again. Let's find out where the last autosave was. But sometimes it was like, oh, that was pretty close. Other times it was pretty much a long walk and fighting. So it seemed like there was a lot of ammo for energy weapons. I think there's the arc welder, and that uses some kind of energy weapon ammo. So that might be why for that. There was a lot of the red glare rockets, and just so you know, that overpass Deathclaw just brushes off the rockets like they were mosquitoes. That thing can go straight to hell. And then Butch didn't get very many warheads destroyed, mostly ones that were just blocking the way. And there's those posters you can look for Ralphie. I didn't get very many of those either. I'm not sure what you get for finding those. Maybe somebody else does know. So on that high road section with the overpass, there were 2 Deathclaws that were close to one of those warheads that was able to take out with that the detonator. But yeah, that third Deathclaw can go straight to hell again. So Butch, through all this stuff, Butch finally makes it to Ulysses' temple, and he gets Eddie back. And by the way, what's with these DLCs and losing your followers during the DLC? I mean, you're just like, oh, by the way, remember all that stuff you gave to your follower? Well, yeah, here's it all. Take it back. Take it all back. This is right where I need one of Jess's really cool swears. So anyway, so Butch gets Eddie back, and then we go talk to Ulysses. Butch has leveled up a couple times during this DLC, so he pretty much got his speech up to 100. So we talked to Ulysses into not launching the mukes. But then we have to fight all the marked men. Cue another freeze. We start fighting, and at one point they were using flamethrowers on me, I think, and the game just froze up. So I had to just shut it down because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning this morning when I had to stop playing. But I started up again around 5 o'clock today, and we got back to talking to Ulysses again, because I forget to save. So we make it through his rambling, and then we fight the marked men again. This time I save, and we start to loot the dead bodies, or the piles of ash and green goo, and then freezes again.
Gooey.
I have to restart my PS3, and then this time they just had Butch go straight to the terminal to stop the launch, and then we have to sacrifice poor Eddie. But Butch is Mitch. After Eddie is sacrificed, Butch has to hobble again because he has to pick up all that stuff. I gotta stop gathering so much crap, I guess, on these DLCs. But anyway, he hobbles his way to the elevators. It says to hurry, but yeah, there's no hurry. But we get to the elevators, and then we get the end comments from Eddie, which is just a bunch of squeaks and beeps and stuff. And then we get our last monologue from Ulysses. And then we get to choose to add another point to your specials. So I gave him a point to strength. I don't know why I did that. For some odd reason I did it. But anyway, Butch is at level 41. His stats for his skills are energy weapons 54, explosives 44, melee is 28, unarmed is 20, and then everything else is 100. So anyway, that's it for Butch and his time on the Lonesome Road, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shoveler, sir. He is playing on the PlayStation 3.
Oh my God, yes. And it's notorious how badly New Vegas runs on the PS3.
I thought you could just stop at the before you said the PS3 part. I played Skyrim on the PS3, so I know how that can be. So I'm just like, is he? Oh my God, is he sitting through those like?
He's been doing that.
Endless fucking load screens and just like cha-chunk every time you try to go over a hill and like. Oh
While
my
they've
God.
improved it, it also takes longer the longer you play. It's one of those that PS3 still has a bit of a slowdown the longer you play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So no wonder, he says he doesn't remember to save as often as he should. And I hear you. I'm a compulsive saver. But at the same time, when saving takes as long as it can, sometimes on the PS3, I also don't blame you. It does run. You get through it, but it crashes more, it locks up more, and it has more issues.
You can play it. Notice how her voice went up there. You can make it through.
I'm trying not to let my Xbox bias show through. That's all.
Yeah. At one point, I had to tape a sign just above my monitor that said, in huge letters, "Save." just to remind myself, so I couldn't. It was always right there in my face. So the Ralphie posters, the reward for that is 100 XP.
Yeah, not worth it.
Bummer.
Not worth it. But you also get an achievement, Ray, so it's totally worth it.
Oh, what are those?
The A word.
And how do they help your character? Oh, that's right, they don't.
Not in the slightest, no. But yeah, poor Butch going through that. Poor John forgetting to save so much. I'm so sorry about that. And the thing about saving too is that not only can it take a little while on a console sometimes, but also you can start to be really good about it and you can remember and you're in a groove. And every time, even if you have save on fast travel off, because it's more likely to cause lockups if you have save on fast travel on or going through doors, but you're doing well. And then as soon as you get comfortable, that's when the death claw gets you.
Wow.
That's when the tunnelers come up and eat your butt. And you're just like, how long has it been? And suddenly it's been 20 minutes because you were just way too comfortable.
Mm.
Or you have that thing where you have both the autosave and the hard save. And the hard save is like 3 hours ago. And your autosave just happens to be the exact second you turn around and something has killed you. Right. Yeah. So like every time you load, you die and you just, oh fuck, right. I have to go back 3 hours or figure out a way to not die in under 1 second. I hate that stuff.
Yeah, and it is definitely very energy weapon ammo centric, because even Eddie can make you the energy ammo while he's following you. So, but it didn't do me any good because I only used 308s and 12-7s.
Yeah, I totally forgot he can repair stuff and
yep,
make that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So it seems like everyone's having trouble with this death claw in the overpass.
There are a couple of them that'll get you there if you're not watching, but definitely the one that falls on your head.
Yeah, the one that jumps down the van or whatever. I just happened to Google death claw resistance in Fallout New Vegas, and it was like, yes, they are tougher than in other games, but in this game it said, taking out their legs is your best bet with like big weapons. Basically it's like, yeah, and it's like, stay away from them, shoot from high ground, use snipers. Like, yeah, duh. But then the last comment was, and they are afraid of fire, making the flare gun a viable weapon because they will flee if you shoot flares at them. Does that work? Has anyone ever actually tried this? Has anyone shot a flare at a goddamn Deathclaw. I want to go get a flare gun and take it down into that valley just north of Good Springs and see if it works.
Yeah, let us know how that goes.
That
Yeah.
sounds hilarious.
I'm sure the bunnies will flee in terror from your flare.
Squeal, no. Yes, that sounds fun. All right. Thank you,
I was gonna say also, John. Next time, so you were trying to come up with a swear. Next time you end up a DLC like that, and that happens, just say, next time carry your own loot. You heckin' bunch of bucket humpers.
You fuzzy muffin humpers.
Yeah, or maybe try this one. It puts the loot in the basket, or else it gets the hose again. That might work too.
Oh no.
You don't want the hose.
That's a little
You
scary.
want the loot in the basket.
That one's dark. That one's darker.
Okay, well, heckin' bunch of bucket humpers then. That is what I would definitely use on those muffin lickers when they, give you all that stuff all at the same time. Sorry. I totally feel it, because you get over encumbered and you got to waddle your way back.
That's why they put the vendor in the wall guy over there, the commissary, not commissary, what's it called?
Yeah, commissary.
The commissary, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You still got to get there.
Oh,
We'll talk about
it's a
waddling.
long
We're all gonna be
you're
waddling
right.
soon at the end of these. We get so freaking over cucumbered.
Cucumbered water. Mm.
Delicious. Little ginger, little cucumber.
So good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shoveler. Let's see. Up next on the list, looks like we've got Matt, Calm Horizon.
Hey there, Fallout Feed. This is Matt, Calm Horizons on the Discord. And with me again, I've got Nikki. Say hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
I knew it.
And
He'd
we
be
are
there.
doing the Lonesome Road DLC today. So I had said several times on the Discord that I was really worried about Eddie dying because I don't have a good track record with companions, and Eddie 2.0 seemed pretty important, pretty necessary to the things that were going on, and I was just terrified
One might
that
say
Eddie was going to
essential.
die, and I was just going to fail the whole DLC and just have to turn around and walk back.
Wouldn't he have plot armor?
Turns out he does, yes.
Good.
I don't remember the first time that he actually went unconscious, but there was one time, the first time that I blew up one of the bombs, there was a big ambush of the masked men, whatever, and they just immediately piled on Eddie, and I was like, oh crap. But at that point, I was able to fight them all off without him going unconscious. It was the tunnelers, that's right. It was the tunnelers that put Eddie unconscious. Nice to know that even on hardcore mode, Eddie 2.0 can't die because he's
Just
too
like
too
Kylan.
important. Yeah.
Yay.
So go through, it's all very linear and things are pretty hard, but I'm doing fine. And then in the Cave of Abaddon or whatever it is, in the second tunnel there is where the tunneler queen is. And she's got all of those, the other tunnelers around her. And I died so many times. I could have snuck past, but I don't want, this is a thing I should be doing. And so I didn't want to sneak past them. I wanted to kill them. And it ended up drugs. And when I actually successfully finished that fight and killed everything, I had there's all those little dots for your health bar. There was 1 dot left in my health bar, but I didn't. Take that, tunnelers.
And the tunnelers were never seen or heard from again.
I did go and get the Rar's Talon specifically, so I wanted to talk about this. I don't know how much people know, but if you get Rar's Talon, all you need to be able to make the gauntlet, the Deathclaw gauntlet, is to have high enough unarmed and then get to a crafting station, and then you can make the Deathclaw gauntlet. Rar's Talon...
Is that better or worse than a superheated stun necklace?
I don't know yet. Rar's Talon is considered a quest item, which means you can't remove quest items from your inventory. And so I'm going to hold on to Rar's Talon until we go to Dead Money, where they take absolutely everything from you, but they can't take Rar's Talon from me.
Because it's a quest item.
And then I can go to a crafting station in there and make that Deathclaw gauntlet in Dead Money, and then wipe the place out.
Crafting stations in Dead Money?
Yeah.
Smart.
Alright.
So after this is going to fight Ulysses, and I'm an idiot. So he's all like, well, first of all, I couldn't talk him down.
No speech.
Yeah, I was, I got the pop up to say that Vegas is worth saving, and then he's all convinced me Vegas is worth saving, and well,
He's gonna blow up Vegas?
I have no speech. Yeah, he's gonna launch nukes to wipe out Vegas. I have no speech, so I can't convince him to not do that. And so he's like, all right, here we go. And like, okay, here we go. And I immediately hit VATS and queue up a bunch of attacks on him, and he pulls out this grenade in the slow-mo walking up to punch him animation. He pulls out this flashbang grenade, and I just stand there with my fist cocked, waiting while he very slowly pulls the grenade out and pulls the pin and throws it, and it hits me and explodes. And then all of the VATS was canceled, but like, if I'd have known that was going to happen, like, you cannot interrupt this. If the fight is going to start with him debuffing all of your combat skills, and there's nothing you can do about it, except you could not queue up VATS and then have to spend 20 seconds watching this happen. Anyway, after this, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, let's go. And I queue up my VATS round, and I pound him, and I get, maybe 2/3 of the way through his life, and I'm now out of AP, and so I kind of need to heal at this point, and all these things are happening. The enemies are coming in from the back, and
Eddie's shooting.
And then I get ready to go fight him again, and he's full health, and like, oh, he must have used a stim pack or something, and so I do it again and get him down again, and then he's fine again the next time I go to fight him. So I'm like, oh, fine, okay. I'm just going to forget VATS. I'm just going to punch him. And so I could see that he was just like healing like crazy. And again, I started this by saying I'm an idiot. I'm not looking at anybody else. Like, all the marked men and the 2 iBots that are flying around attacking me, like, whatever, you guys. I'm busy. Let me kill Ulysses, and then I'll deal with you guys. And so I ended up, I took Med-X and Psycho and Rushing Water. And so, never mind VATS. I just walked up and just manually punch, and was able to out-damage his healing and finally bring him down and kill him. And then I turn around and look at everybody else who's fighting me, and there's an iBot that's healing him. And there's an iBot that's debuffing me. And like, oh... There's like a strategy to this fight that I should have followed, but
how are you going to reach the iBot when you can only punch?
Anyway, so then, Nikki, I am curious. At the end, you have a choice to make. There are missiles that cannot be stopped. The arming process is already gone, and they are about to launch. So you have 2 options. You can change where they go to make them either hit Legion area or NCR area, or you can tell Eddie to try to disarm them and stop the launch. And Eddie explains in his way that if he does this, it's going to destroy him.
Okay.
What choice do you think I made?
Kill Eddie.
You are correct. I chose to let Eddie sacrifice himself to save everyone. I don't think it's fair. Like, sure, the Legion sucks, but they have a lot of people that they are oppressing that would also get blown up by the nuke. And Eddie 1.0 is already dead, and I can't bring Eddie 2.0 back with me. So I, sacrificed the one for the many, and Eddie seemed pretty down with it, all things considered. So yeah,
and he can only beep, so
I chose to let Eddie do the noble thing, and the nukes did not get launched. So, all right, we're super long. So that's going to do it for me. Say goodbye, Nikki.
Goodbye, Nikki.
And see you guys in the Wasteland.
I don't know if I knew Eddie 1 could die.
In hardcore mode.
Yeah, only in hardcore mode.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was lamenting this a lot in Discord, leading up to it. And, I was going to tell him that he didn't have to worry, but then I thought it was better if he actually, found out on his own. So, that's because he's an essential part of the plot. They had to make him essential throughout this DLC. So,
Eddie
Even in hardcore mode, he doesn't. And, as far as blowing up the Legion, trying to, really it would be mercy killing to the slaves that that the Legion is oppressing and, probably going to kill anyway, because that's just what they do. So it's really mercy killing if you nuke the Legion.
I mean, there's always hope, is how I look at it. There is hope for things being overturned there and people escaping and the Legion being pushed back. But I can understand the choice as far as essential characters. So when you're not in hardcore mode, the only essential characters are still your companions, Yes Man, and Victor up to a point, I believe. I'm not sure if anyone else is essential for very long in the game.
No. I can't think of anybody.
And then in hardcore, of course, your companions can all die too. So it's just Yes Man and Victor up to a point.
Yeah.
So are there a bunch of quests that just auto fail when one of the companions die?
Technically, if you've started one of their side companion quests, yes.
Oh.
If you don't have one of those quests active already done, it wouldn't fail. But not many would fail. And I do think they'd have to be active for that to pop up. I'm not certain though, because I've never played hardcore New Vegas.
Seems hardcore.
It does.
Totally.
So I liked the masked men, marked men. I mean, I think they are all marked men, but masked men totally works. Like the Hamburglar coming in.
Yes.
And a lot of them wear masks.
Some of the marked men are masked men because you take their masks.
They are. Yeah,
as rewards.
They've got their big old Legion masks for sure.
Yep.
Those are definitely worth a lot.
Yep.
Also,
and, good call on the Rars, Talon.
It's a super smart idea, right?
Absolutely, because you get Rar's Talon and you turn it into the Fist of Rar, right? That's what you turn it into.
Yeah, but quest items, so they can't take it from you. So you wait till you get inside the DLC, and then you find, some sort of repair bench to. Do you have to take any components, or is it just a skill level check?
He was saying it's just a skill level check, so I guess that's the case. I was thinking there was an item or two you needed,
you have to
but
have a Deathclaw hand.
Well, yeah, you need obviously Rar's hand, Rar's talon.
hand, but you don't need an extra one to make the gauntlet with or anything like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it sounds like you don't for this, because normally you need at least a medical brace, I think, to craft it at a bench.
And I liked his recollection of the 30-second VATS, pulling out the grenade real slowly. And
that's brutal.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that kind of VATS cancellation, the automatic thing. There's always that thing with some bosses where they've got to get through this attack, and the game wants this to happen. So your character may be the biggest badass in the valley, but as soon as the game wants you to, fall prey to somebody, you will.
Yeah. That's why it was particularly satisfying so the first time I went through, I thought I was going to be able to convince Ulysses to leave and not go through with it, but then realized that I forgot to pick up Eddie in the room before, and so that didn't work. So I restarted. And as soon as I walked through the door, I sniped Ulysses while he was standing up on the steps. So he immediately died. He never, activated his iBots, and all I had to do was fight 4 or 5 marked men
on the way
that spawned in after.
Not something Calm could do, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, he didn't have that long range attack, and
I do like the strategy of just loading up and boosting on chems and pounding the tarnation out of him. I mean, except that he's a boss, but you don't expect that in most Bethesda games. A lot of these people you fight, yes, they may have special weapons or special attacks, but they generally don't have the boss strategy and patterns. Like with a lot of games, you need to learn the boss attacks, boss patterns, and stuff. And in Fallout, you do, say in 76, with the Scorched Beast Queen or Earl, or of course in the raid, there you do. But traditionally in Fallout games, that's not really a thing you had to think about. But Yeah. Yeah. It seems like Ulysses has a few safeguards and things, order of operations.
Yeah, so to make Rar's Fist, all you need is
Repair 75, is that it? Or not repair, unarmed 75?
Yeah, unarmed 75, a workbench, and the Talon.
Nice.
Just
yeah,
the talon
unarmed
itself. You
75
don't need
or
any
maybe 100.
extra. Yeah, you don't need any extra thing.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought you needed a medical brace. Maybe you do for a regular Death Claws hand and you don't for the Fist of Rar?
Yeah, that
awesome.
sounds about right. Yeah.
A medical
cool.
brace.
Thank you so much for your feedback, Matt. That was great.
Yeah.
And Nikki, of
Good
course.
deal.
But I'm going to go find him and talk to him and try to clear things up because I don't need him showing up in New Vegas after this is all over. I definitely don't want to hear him talk anymore. I found this laser thing that blows up these warheads, and every time I do it clears a new path or opens up a new place. But of course, each place is more dangerous than the last. I keep running into marked men wearing NCR and Legion armor, their skins kind of burnt off. And of course there's death bunnies. Why wouldn't there be death bunnies? But the biggest problem I've noticed are what they call the tunnelers. Ulysses says they came from underground, awakened by the bombs. But I don't believe that for a second. There's these old world conspiracy theories about the lizard people that were trying to terraform the surface to make it more inhabitable for them. And after seeing these guys, I know who dropped the bombs. Call me crazy, but they've always been the shadow government. So I'm going to blow up as many of these warheads and kill as many of those lizard people as I can before I get out of here. Well, break time's over. I'm sitting on top of this high road, and I guess I have to walk down it. And I'm sure it's gonna suck. We'll check in at some point. Ulysses is a dead man. There will be no talking.
Oh,
After going through missile silos, ruined buildings, death bunny infested highways, and dealing with more lizard people, he took Eddie away. I know it's crazy, but I've gotten super attached to that little guy, even if he did try to make me listen to human mating calls. I love that little weirdo. And he's threatening to take him apart and use him for parts. And this war he's raging that nobody knows about and trying to implement me over a case of mistaken identity. I swear. Dr. Klein, Mr. House, Caesar, Joshua Graham, and Daniel, hell, even the king. What is it with the men over here? It's like they're all infected with a superiority complex. Like what they say actually holds weight. Well, everybody's got a plan, and everybody talks big until they get punched in the mouth. Or, from my personal experience, a bullet in the head. So, as soon as I find Ulysses, I'm putting him down. I'd love to beat him to death with a dictionary because he loves to talk so much. But I can't seem to find one that's not burnt beyond recognition. Anyway, I'm sure I still have a long walk, a bad attitude, and separation anxiety. I'm going to go try to get my little buddy back. Well, that was eventful. When I got to Ulysses' temple, which is just a big missile silo, I found Eddie again, which was happy. But then it was time to deal with Ulysses. When I walked into the room he was in, he was standing at the far end, on top of a staircase, staring at a rocket. Is he going to launch these? Is he going to launch them at the Mojave? And that's where my thoughts kind of drifted toward Veronica and Eddie and Rex and Cass, the girls I hang out with at the Gomorrah. New Vegas is the only home I have ever known. And before I knew it, I pulled the trigger. The anti-material rifle shot hit, and Ulysses' body slowly fell into the tube that rocket was coming out of. And I would like to say that I felt nothing, like after wiping out the Brotherhood of Steel. But I did feel something. It was satisfaction. This madman's gone now. In the grave, if you ask me, but unfortunately, it's not only Ulysses' grave. Eddie had to use his little zappers to stop the rockets, but it fried his circuits. So my little beeping bundle, it's just a pile of oil on the floor now. So I blew up all the warheads that were in the room and everyone I could find on the way out. I'm going home. When I get back to this, I'm going to hug Veronica. I'm going to hug Cass. I'm going to give Eddie the biggest hug he's ever had and see if some of these upgrades I found work on him. And after that, it's off to Hoover Dam. We're going to end this. And I don't care who I have to kill.
Anybody blow up all of those warheads? Who found them all?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to. I want to.
Yeah, I missed a few.
I didn't even get close.
Little moment of silence for Eddie there, too. That was, Eddie 2.0.
The puddle of
I
oil.
called them fake Eddie, but like Myra said, or Rando said there, get attached to the little guy. The happy beeping, the fun beeping, the human mating noises, coy beeping,
Human mating noises.
It's a conversation you could have with Eddie. If you get a little deeper into it, Eddie might ask if, you want to hear some of the things he's recorded, including human mating noises. And if you say, what? And wait, do you record everything? Sly beeping is what you get in return.
Sly beeping. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, sly beep.
But I am glad that Myra's Eddie is still alive, and Veronica and Cass, people for hugs. We got some pictures during that too, and Rando had said before the show that he often does pictures like Lee does, and that he had forgotten to prep them, but he got them prepped and posted, and there are some great ones here. I have to say, the picture of the tunneler through the scope is excellent. A lot of these are great. Very angry death bunnies on a highway.
Sorry about dead air. I'm just scrolling back through.
No, we've got to scroll back and look at the pictures. Yeah, so he started off taking, needing to get away after the experience in Old World Blues and such, and with the BOS, and gonna go off with the Happy Trails caravan. Obviously, didn't quite go that way. Went to the Divide on a week's vacation. But yeah, Edie is so stinking cute. Agreed. Also, tragic backstory. He mentioned that everybody has a tragic backstory, and yeah, a lot of the compelling characters do, but. Like Eddie, we try to transcend that, and that's partly, the triumph of the little robot that could make it all the way across the U.S. I mean, it's an inspiring story, just like Ralphie. So, and you'll know about Ralphie if you go into Lonesome Road. It's a fun little lonesome journey kind of thing. Also, beyond that, Myra's conspiracy theories with tunnelers there. Okay, I do think Myra has spent a little bit too much time in her own head and alone. Conspiracy theory, lizard people, they were the ones who set off the bombs. Myra, I think you maybe shouldn't spend so much time alone. I think maybe you'll be doing better and recover more if you spend some time with your friends. It made me think of Doctor Who and the Silurians, though, which, because a lot of things make you think of Doctor Who. But the way you describe them as underground lizard people, for
I don't know, it explains an awful lot.
I mean, just connect the dots. Love it. But yeah, that was some fantastic feedback. And we are going to end this, for sure. Ulysses got what he deserved there, I'm afraid.
Speaking of ending one more feedback. Let's check in with Solior.
Hey, all you cool cats and dolls. This is Ace Rockwell back with another report from my trips around the Mojave Wasteland. Or in this case, the Divide. So, I mentioned in my last holotape that I wanted to find out a little bit more about my backstory. Find out where I came from, because I don't really remember anything before Benny put a bullet in my head. And I remember coming across this wrecked bus on the way to Prim, and it had Courier 6 written on it. Something tells me I need to go through there and find out what's on the other side. Somebody might know something about me. I go through there, and it's the entrance to the Divide. And all I see is mass destruction. So many wrecked buildings. which was kind of par for the course for the Wasteland, but there was something different about this. It just felt horrible. I follow the trail around to the entrance of this missile silo, and after I enter the first door, I see a message that tells me that I can go home. Hell with that. I want to find out who this is and what he knows about me. They keep addressing me as courier. Clearly this person knows me. I make my way through the missile silo, taking out a bunch of robots along the way. And then I come across a door with a terminal that I can't hack. It requires a key, or in this case, an iBot. Reminds me of my old pal Eddie that's back in the Mojave. As soon as I let him out of his pod, he starts playing this clip from this program called Ralphie the Robot's Incredible Odyssey. Makes me wonder if he was actually an actor from that. Maybe he was the Ralphie. Throughout our journey together, he plays me clips of recordings from his programmer, Dr. Whitley. Guy seemed like a class act, and he was in a really bad place. However, that wasn't the only voice that I heard come out of this Eddie. The guy who summoned me here goes by Ulysses. Every now and then he would take control of Eddie and used him to talk to me. And god damn does this guy love the sound of his own voice. I sure as hell don't. Put me to fucking sleep. Apparently, he blames me for the destruction of this area. I guess he was the original Courier 6, and the only reason I got the job is because he refused to do it. He knew the destruction that platinum chip would cause. I sure as hell didn't. I had no idea what I was delivering, and why Benny wanted to kill me for it. In his eyes, though, ignorance is no excuse, and I'm responsible for this mass destruction. This whole thing is to show me what I did. And he keeps saying he doesn't want to kill me in the end. He just wants to teach me a lesson. And it's all about the fight between the bull and the bear and how it's never ending. This dude was apparently a former Legion, which already makes my skin crawl. But he doesn't care about them. He wants to destroy both armies and raise up a new flag under his own name. He also said that all of this is meaningless to him. Bullshit. Dude's a fucking hypocrite. If all of this was to show me the error of my ways, why is he making history repeat itself by dropping the nukes on the Mojave? He's wanting to wipe out this new world, everything that has been built up since then, to repeat it all over again? Start anew with a new flag? I don't fucking buy it. If he was really trying to do this for the betterment of humanity, he would be helping reestablish these locations. Get us back to a state where we're not constantly living in fear of being killed by some random ass raider who's hopped up on jet. But no, he just wants to destroy everything over again and start over. We've already been through that. I'm not letting him do this. Although, along the way, I'm completely okay with detonating these warheads so no one else does. I get great joy out of that. Not so much the Deathclaws and the Marked Men that I have to fight along the way. And those tunnelers, fuck them, man. Those things are mean and fast. I think I still have a few scars on my ass from them. After this long, winding road where I even had to set off a missile to destroy part of the city, it all led me to Ulysses' palace. He goes through another monologue that takes about 3 hours. He didn't want to just launch missiles at the Mojave. He wanted to take out everything west of where we were at. Again, wipe out everything that has been built up since the bombs dropped. I just couldn't let him do that. After destroying a bunch of warheads that were in there, I used Eddie to hack this terminal. There were a few options of where I could send the missiles. I could send them to the NCR, the Legion, all of the Mojave, or just have them destroy the place here and effectively stop Ulysses' plan. It was all I could do, not gonna lie, to not send them to destroy the Legion. Fuck those guys. Unfortunately, in the process, Eddie was sacrificed. The Marked Men also found us, and Ulysses joined me to take them on. After the fight, I walked out. I never want to see this place again. Ulysses can still be found at the entrance to the Divide, overlooking the destruction that he caused. Maybe he'll think twice before he tries to tear things down to rebuild them in his image. Gotta head back to the Mojave anyway. I have a date with the president at the Hoover Dam. But until then, why don't I turn you over to Sulior?
All those bombs and radiation? I'm surprised you didn't become a ghoul yourself or one of those marked men.
Give me a little credit here. After all the shit that I've been through, do you really think that's gonna take me out?
Fair enough.
So, yeah, this was a fun one. I definitely enjoyed going through, and it was pretty straightforward. I think, like Andrew said, I don't even remember opening up the map until after I had completed it. And like Jess said, the 6 hours it took to complete it was pretty accurate. I'm pretty sure that's about how long it took for me. Although it probably could have been cut in half if they didn't have all of that monologuing with Ulysses. I streamed all of it, and it got to the point where when he started doing his monologues through Eddie, I actually started getting a little drowsy. And so myself and my stream chat actually kept ourselves entertained during those 2-hour-long monologues by talking about Starfield. And what he said, like everything he said was really interesting, but it was just the way he delivered it. It was very slow, very monotonous. And I just, after about 30 seconds, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Where's the skip button? I'll get the Cliff Notes version later. So after everything was done, I actually have gone back to try and get the remaining warheads that I had missed. So I think once I wrapped up the story, I had maybe like 7 that I still needed to get. And I went to the Courier's Mile, and oh my God, was that place heavily irradiated. I don't know if that's because of how the story ended, where I essentially destroyed Ulysses' palace and all that, or if it's like that beforehand. But I was taking, I don't know, it was crazy. I was getting an enormous amount of rads, but I did manage to get a couple of the warheads there. And there are still a couple of left that I may or may not go back to get. I don't know. We'll see. But all in all, I really did enjoy this, regardless of how Ulysses would put me to sleep. I don't know if it's overtaken Old World Blues or not. I still might think that's still my favorite. But maybe not anymore, because, I mean, who doesn't love going around blowing up warheads? I was giggling every time I blew one of those up. So anyway, that is it for me. And until next time, I will see you all in the Wasteland.
I think this is the only real big part of the game where rads have been a giant concern in the Mojave.
They could definitely get you. It's a glowing sea adjacent. You gotta monitor those rads for sure.
Yeah, I got up over the 75% mark at one point.
Oof.
It was
yeah, that's where those auto docks come in handy.
Yeah, I stumbled across one. You said there were a bunch of them around. I only
at least 4.
One.
Yeah, at least 4. You find them in the actual facilities and locations. Mm-hmm. But he mentioned the Courier's Mile, and that is the area after where the warhead you sent in the air detonated, up by Sunstone Tower. And yes, it gets very radiated there, and you can explore and get more warheads. I have not gone up and done that, but I'll have to go there for sure. And blowing them up is fun. I mean, of course, Sulior likes exploding things. That's what he does. Whether he's Ace or Pyro or somebody else, he likes burning them and exfoliating them. But the warheads are really satisfying. The way that you focus the beam, then they start to flare, and then they're like kapow. I like it too.
Yeah, the laser gun's pretty sweet.
It is. I like how
detonator thing.
Some of the characters, like Vanessa and such, they talked about refuting the backstory Ulysses tried to give. Whereas in Ace's play, and the way Sulior's doing it with Ace, he doesn't actually know his backstory, so it actually dovetails in with that. And that's kind of cool, And the fact that he's, talking about Ulysses, and I really like the line, he sure likes the sound of his voice. I sure as hell don't. That was good. That was good. And yes, I was on at least one of those streams, watching one of the streams, and we did chat Starfield during the blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, quote blah 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 end quote Ulysses. So yeah.
Is that what he said? I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly what he said. I think I the part that we weren't
to the best of
for.
our recollection.
No, Ulysses is a cool character, and I like him. I talked a lot about him last episode. With everything going on there, and there are some good exchanges, but there's just so much talking, and especially if you're trying to push through, it feels like it takes a while.
Well, thank you for your service, Ulysses.
Absolutely, and thank you for your feedback, Solior. Always good to hear from Ace. I like your different characters, and I really like the way you approached it as the way Ace would approach it.
Ace in the hole.
Got a little spicy about this one.
All right, thanks guys for all your feedback this week. Next week, what? We going to the dam? Are we there yet?
Yep.
We are pretty much there.
All right.
Just about.
We're going to the dam. So 2 weeks from now, start wrapping up that Mojave adventure, and then you said there's one more DLC after that, right? The old
we're gonna do Dead Money.
Blues,
so no,
Dead
we are
Money,
officially wrapping it. We are officially wrapping it. So it's different quests for all of us, but we're doing the Yes Man crew doing finishing touches. You'll know it when it happens, and no gods, no masters, which is the end decision. If you're doing NCR, you'll know it when it happens, and you'll be doing Eureka, of course. And if you are doing Legion, you're doing Arizona Killer and Veni Vidi Avicii.
So I'm curious to see who actually shows up in mine, since I killed all the NCR and the Legion.
They got better.
Oh, they got better. Okay.
They'll make more.
They'll
make more.
Yeah, bring in more recruits.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The Legion will enslave some more people, and
they're good at that.
The NCR will drag in more bodies.
Recruit, quote unquote, basically. All right. Sorry.
It's funny. I actually lost track of time a little bit. You said we're ending it next week and I'm like, wait, don't we have 2 weeks? No, we've got 1 week. We've got 1 week to get out there and do the final quest. So
get it on.
Excited to do that for
All right.
sure.
Everybody got your can openers? Get your forks too.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
Juicy bits.
Put a stick in these bits because they are done. I'm going to make it quick bits today. These are bits to go. These are bits on a stick you can just kind of munch while you're walking through the door on your way out of this podcast. So let's get to it. First up, let's see. Oh, the mini season wrap up. I do want to mention that the mini season has wrapped. So I hope you got all the things you wanted from the Rip Daring mini season, like some of us did. I know some of you did. It's funny. I had actually forgotten to jump in and claim, and it's only because our friend Brandon Andon jumped in on Monday and was like, "Don't forget." I'm like, "Oh shoot, Brandon Andon, I was gonna forget." So yeah. So thank you for that, reminding me to grab most of my rewards. I didn't get them all, but I got most. Also, like we mentioned earlier, just kind of do a quick wrap up on 76. The 12th axolotl is out. The axolotl is loose, the 12th one. So hunt that cute little rascal down and catch him. But catch and release. Catch and release your axolotls. Hashtag carolotl, not hashtag snaxolotl. Okay? This is what we need to know. Also, looking ahead on the calendar, I mentioned right now there have been scorched happening, some spooky scorched. And then next up, we are looking at double mutations next weekend. Treasure Hunter, nothing exciting, but the big bloom. The flowers are a-coming, everybody. The April showers are bringing May flowers. It's not all gloom and doom. It's time for the big bloom. That's going to be coming up next week. So I'm sorry. I'm hyped.
That's
okay.
Great, dude. Good job.
I love that event. It's actually really fun, and I'm excited to see how it runs this time. Because the first time we had it, it was a bit the area. You know how some things get with a lot of explosions. There was some lag, but it ran better last time, and I'm hoping it runs even better still this time. Plus, we're 76ers. We're used to a little lag. So good times. not good times. The next bit on the stick that we got, some people may have heard about this, but this is real world news. This is not game news. So the Prima Donna Company, the owner of the Prim Valley Casino Resorts, is officially shutting down and closing all their operations, and due to bankruptcy and giving notice as they wind things up. So for those who don't know, the Prima Donna Company is who runs Prim Valley Casino, but also Whiskey Pete's Hotel and Casino, and also, most important to fans, Buffalo Bills Resort and Casino. So these were the 3 casinos in Prim that were kind of near the Nevada-California border, which for a time they were actually kind of running on the location, in that, the gambling wasn't as legal in California, and you go across the border, you go in there, you gamble, all that. It's a border town in a way, border-ish. You don't have to go all the way to Vegas. That obviously has changed over time in different areas, but also they were hit a little bit harder after COVID than some, as people's spending habits and travel habits changed. So if I remember correctly, Whiskey Pete's closed in 2024. Buffalo Bills shifted to events only midsummer last year, which did affect the New Vegas fan celebration for sure. Last year, in some ways, they had to change some plans there. And then, of course, the last one was the Prim Valley Casino Resorts, which has also closed down. So I just want to mention it. I think they are...
Yeah. So it's cheaper to fly to Vegas now than it is to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not on that highway, because it used to be that, you would get to, the border, and, you would stop and, go gambling. But with fewer people driving to Vegas now,
Right.
that really, puts a curb in that revenue stream.
It makes sense. So, I mean, you do have the COVID travel changes and such, but then, yeah, even though gas prices now have been higher, they've been at least somewhat higher for a while. Whereas for a while, flying would be cheaper for sure. I can totally see that. So, end of an era for Prim. And, thoughts are with people laid off because there are a couple hundred employees across, the various resorts and things they were running. So, that is sad news.
Yeah.
The last thing I have on the list today, let's see. Oh, well, there are a couple things. So, article up on Bethesda.net. 6 uninvited guests from Fallout 76 is crashing the Backwood update. Oh, no. In the Backwoods update to keep from crashing the party. So they did a little thing on the Party Smashers, a big old article on them, talking about the ones that can show up. And they are still kind of tweaking the frequency and spawn rate for them after the events, but I know people do still see them sometimes, and it's been fun. Our friend Ash Lemongello has been on a mission to lead Bigfoot to different locations. She's doing a little photo series of, Bigfoot at this location, Bigfoot at that location. Let's bring him to Huntersville. Let's bring him to the White Spring, all the stuff, kind of like we did with Earl back in the day. But the Party Smashers you can get right now are Bigfoot, Scorch Beast, Deathclaw Matriarch, the Wendigo Colossus. You gotta love the Wendigo Colossus. A big old Mirelurk Queen, and the Storm Goliath. Yes, I don't know if you guys have seen this Party Smasher, but you can actually get one of the giant robots from Skyland Valley. So that is awesome. However, the other thing I want to mention is bundles in the Atomic Shop. So there are 2 bundles this week. They've been doing that a little more frequently, and it's they are spreading essentially. When they're making these bundles, a lot of times the bundles are nice catch-up bundles for people where they're a mix of different old items from previous bundles, and they're recombining them in different ways, which that's great. It makes them available for people. And because they discount the bundles based on things you already own, it's not really a negative, and it doesn't really hurt players who already have a lot of the stuff. They're like, well, I don't have this item or this item. I pick up the bundle for cheap. That's great. But one thing I don't love when they're launching multiple new bundles is when they're making new items, and then they spread the new items across 2 bundles. So you have to buy both if you want the cool new stuff. I see you nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about, Dawn, right? Have you been suckered into that? It just happened. This week was a big one because we got a new Raider outfit and some Raider stuff in that bundle. And then we got a bunch of cool camp items in the other bundles. So if you don't care about outfits, and honestly, I didn't really like the Raider outfit that much, you're okay skipping this one. But if you wanted some other of the Raider items in there, you would have to get that. Some of them haven't been back in a while.
Was it last week too? They did this. It's not the first time.
No, it's been a thing recently, and that's kind of why I wanted to point it out, because it's been a couple times. But I will say in the, and I'm forgetting the name of the current bundle. Is it an auto bundle? I don't remember the name of it, but one of the cool things we got is this cool car light, so we got the Starlight before, and the Starlight was this nice mounted rig with a bunch of stage lights up on a scaffolding. Really kind of cool. Well, now we got the car light, which is the same thing, but made on the frame of an old car, and it's got a little more jury-rigged lights, and it's a cool one. I really like this one a lot. Beyond that, what else is in there? I think there's some Nuka-Cola stuff. There is just a number of good items in that one, so I would like it. And they're also doing some special items each day of the week, doing weekly offers. We're getting the fisherman's overalls, the black fisherman's overalls, going to be later, I think next week. We're getting the vintage linen coat again, the tour guide outfit. These are some ones we haven't seen in a while. And the antique gas pump brew station, which this is a great one in a camp. Because if you want your chem bench, well, it's not a chem bench. It's the Biv stuff, the brewing station. But it looks really cool with all the antique parts. So I wanted to say, yes, there's some cool stuff, but I do not like this new tactic of spreading new items across multiple bundles and making you spend twice as many atoms if you want them all. In most cases. Boo. Indeed. But that's about it.
No bueno.
That's all the bits I got this week. Making them nice and quick.
All right, good bits. That is all I have. Is there anything else you guys would like to bring up tonight?
Shout out to my dirty, dirty kids in the Dirty, Dirty Discord drinking their Dirty, Dirty Dew. A lot of people have been trying it this week. I'm happy to see the Dirty Dew.
Get that dirty Dr. Pepper, too. I've got it this week, John. Don't worry.
What's that Dr. Pepper? That's that Dr. Pepper.
I got it this week, you guys.
You got to give us that Dr. Pepper when we want it.
Right.
Yeah.
On. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
People trying all the new sodas. Just been fun to see. The new, Diet Baja Blast, the Dirty Dew, the Dirty Dr. Pepper, all that stuff. We got some new people coming to Discord too, so shout out to new people who have joined recently. Been a lot of fun seeing your stuff and all the games you're playing.
Beautiful. All right. Dawn, why don't you go ahead and tell us where we can find you and remind us of all your many projects.
All my many projects. Well, you can find me at Sassy Lady on X and Blue Sky. I think I'm Sassy Lady Games. Instagram, I think I'm Sassy Lady Games. I don't know if I'm not Sassy Lady or Sassy Lady Games.
There you go.
I'm Sassy Lady 1103.
Yeah, you're the sassiest of ladies wherever you are.
Some variation of that.
Sassy and lady.
I tried rebranding into Sassy Lady Games, and it didn't work across everything. I didn't want to give up my Twitter account that I've had forever. So you can also find me on the Fallout Roundtable. We record every Thursday night. Typically, we were off the past 2 weeks. We almost recorded a live episode that did not and should not happen, but it was a lot of fun to do. It got pretty crazy being live with certain people in the in the participation. So
we often say there are things you only ever hear at the live show, and in this case, definitely only at that live show.
Definitely, for sure. Mm-hmm. It was a good time though. But we will have recaps of the Wasteland Jamboree probably for several weeks on our show, because of the fact that so many people want to get involved with the recap. Typically, it's just with like Steven and Chip, and we'll talk, just the main organizers, and we'll talk about that. But a lot of people want to get involved, like the Nuka-Cola Court wants to come on and they want to talk. There's like a lot of people that want to do things. So I'm probably going to break it down kind of organizationally, like based on event or whatever, and see if I can get more people on, but not at the same time.
Yeah. So, check out and listen to the Fallout Roundtable, y'all. And Donna, I need to say thank you for coming on our Fallout Roundtable and be participating and joining a lot. It's always been great to have you the couple times you've been able to.
Yes. No, thank you for asking. And one of these days I'll fix my game and be able to catch up with some feedback.
And draw a weapon, for Christ's sake. Good Lord.
I know. Just want to shoot a thing.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, Dawn. Very nice to speak with you. You can find Ray at RayLB, and for his No Man's Sky show, that is at BBCISSS for the Butcher, Baker, and Candlemaker in Space. Ray, thank you so much, sir.
Good times.
Jess can be found at Sleep is 4T and all of her many projects. Jess, thank you so much for hopping on.
Various projects, various things, but I will say check out the last BBC ISSS. It was a great listen. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing about Jen, how much Jen loved driving that big old dump truck. She was not a fan, y'all. She was not a fan. Spoilers.
Frogs up on the tube?
So I actually posted a new video last Sunday for the Jamboree. The theater company did a presentation, and so I wanted to do a video for them to show at the presentation. We were thinking of something small. I got a little carried away with it. I went big.
No, you did.
It's really good.
Yeah, so I ended up putting that up on the YouTube instead of frogs. I'm giving a little space, but frogs, soonish. To
Soonish,
quote Todd
everybody.
Howard.
Yeah.
Soonish.
It just works.
Gosh, we're going to hit 4 weeks on Sunday, so I better get it out this weekend because I've never gone more than 3 weeks before.
You're all good. You're all good. Thanks so much for hopping on tonight, Jess.
Thank you.
I am more frequently, as are the others, all in our Discord. Join up over there, folks. The show can be found at the Fallout feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed. We will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com. where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Green glue.
It ended up drugs.
Green goo.
I elevate myself, and then I fly over the trees and rocks and everything else.
Fist cocked, waiting.
I think I still have a few scars on my ass from them.